Don't even announce where you're from. I'm from the United States. You're going to make me search every city in America, find you, chick shit, little punk. I told you where I'm at. I'll give you goddamn street address if you got the
goddamn.
You ain't got the guts. You ain't got the money. You're a coward little chicken shit like most other Republican I ever met. Punk.
Okay. Let's get back into something a little bit more festive.
Yeah. I was hoping for
here to get a rub from a big star. Someone that's actually known on 6 continents on this planet. You and your little you wasted more money on ink than your company's worth, printing out the title of your piece of shit company. So go ahead, finish your other 8
okay.
Or whatever the hell you
well, since we moved on from Julio Rivera, he hung up Starmaker.
Did he leave?
Yes.
He hung up Starmaker.
You just can't treat some people with kindness anymore. They don't know how to understand love and salutations. Did he really hang up? Did that little chicken shit bitch really hang up?
He hung up on us.
I didn't even get to hear the rest of the song.
Well, good. You can call him back and hear it privately because no one else wanted to hear his 8 other days either.
I kind of figured that segment when I booked it would go exactly how it went.
Oh, gee.
And you don't like drama.
I don't like any drama. Starmaker Bolin knows I don't like drama. Mosher knows I don't like drama.
Hey, Kenny, if there's anybody full of shit, it's Jiggy right there.
With me. Boy, did you ever fuck up. You're like Vince Russo booking me on a show with Big Vito. You don't like drama. Oh, shit.
Or like booking, like...
You knew this was going to be a massacre today. You booked it. You just said, well, I would think maybe he might get through 3 of these days, but he got through 4. He was tougher than even you thought he was.
He held his...
This is fantastic.
Definitely made a big mouth broad like me shut up.
Who did?
Both of y'all.
No, he wasn't going to make me shut up, you little piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, nobody will make Starmaker, so...
No. Fuck.
So
I gave him all but my goddamn street address. He wouldn't come. I live in the United States. Yeah, you chicken shit little fuck.
Technically, I mean, I always thought like New Jersey was behind the wall of curtain or something.
I certainly can't look him up on the internet because no one's heard of little son of a bitch. You Google him and you get nothing. I mean, how am I going to find him?
Oh, I'm gonna go Google him now.
I'm interested to see what that brings back.
Well, we've got...
you Google him and the phrase invisible man will light up.
Talk to me like one of your French gals.
We've got Starmaker Bolin joining us on Skype, as you can see on Periscope, Facebook Live, and Ustream, our app. Starmaker Bolin has got the Beats by Bolin on. He's got... Now,
get it correct. These are the Monster Intune version of the Bolin headphones. These are the Monster Intunes. These are the Elite Edition. These some bitches cost money. This is something. What was the name? Jose Rivera. What was his name?
Julio Rivera.
Julio down by the schoolyard. Yeah, I bet he's down by the schoolyard. Molesting children would be my guess.
Somebody deleted me on Facebook, so I went to go look if he did, but he didn't.
Wow,
Santa Bolin Claus has blessed Julio Rivera on this holiday.
Can you imagine what mood I'm going to be in 2 more days? 23rd.
Well, John was just
town from Austria. That might explain why I'm in a bad mood.
What was hilarious is while you were going through there, John off camera was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?"
I don't think this was going to go. I mean, what did you think?
Well, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, Mr. Bolin. It's kind of like,
did you think I was just going to sit there and converse with the man? Really?
When you've got one of the most outspoken guys in pro wrestling like that, do you think you're just going to be silent and just
I've been in a shit mood for about 2 months anyway, having to deal with this. I won't even say his name. I've already said it once. That B-Slow, that ball-headed goof idiot over on the Russo Brand Network, over on Podcast One, a real network. Not to degrade this one by any means.
No, of course not.
And so I've been having to deal with that goddamn idiot for God knows how long. And then I come on here and you trump the idiot that I've been dealing with by getting me a Trump idiot. chicken shit.
So let's do this.
That's one thing.
Go,
Jiggy,
Starmaker.
but that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the show.
Whatever you want to do. It's your world. We're living in it, baby.
But I've noticed on Twitter this thing was supposed to be dedicated to me. That's why I'm shocked you had that other asshole on. But the thing is, why would you do that? What were you thinking?
Because Jiggy doesn't like drama, really.
Yeah.
Doesn't like drama.
He likes to watch
you're
other
so
people's drama. He just doesn't like drama in
He
his
likes
own
other
life.
people's drama.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jiggy doesn't like porn. He just goes to the porn awards every year.
I can't believe that little chicken shit hung up. He didn't even have the guts.
I wanted to hear the rest of the song.
Well, what I was thinking was when he hung up, I immediately thought of the line from Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry David goes, "You don't say goodbye."
Well, I love Larry David, but I didn't hear that episode, or I might have stole that. Didn't even. Well, he might have been in a hurry to get down to the schoolyard. You know how the Republicans are.
So earlier today, me and
a little Roy Moore supporter, probably.
Roy Moore supporter.
Right? He rode out on his horse, folks. He didn't have time to say goodbye.
Me and John Mosier went over and had lunch at the local little drive-in thing here, and we were talking.
You didn't even go to his own sports bar and eat for free?
That's a different spot. But
story.
I got a different workplace
We're
now,
on
Mr.
Facebook Live. Why aren't you guys on camera?
We were.
They are. They are on camera. You're not.
I don't have a camera.
You're seeing. Are you seeing me?
No.
Are you seeing us?
No. All I got is
Jaybird Wells.
Here you go.
There's Jaybird Wells.
Well, there you go. Now you figured out how some of that equipment works over there, and I can see you guys. Jesus, y'all any smarter than that dumbass Julio that you just had on?
Julian
Lennon, whatever the hell his name is.
Julian Lennon. Julian Lennon is a.
He was a Beatles son, is who he was. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
More feminine looking than his mom was.
As the Spectrum dummy says, this is brutal.
So Starmaker, what
Spectrum dummy, by the way.
What do you make of the current wrestling scene with this Kenny Omega Chris Jericho thing?
So we're gonna go to the dumbest son of a bitch on the planet Earth, Julio Morgan or whatever his name was.
Julio Rivera.
No. My opinions on well, you can Google any of those names. You're not gonna find anything. He's just made up bullshit. They ain't got no company. And he wishes he had company today, so he'd have somebody to sit with him and console him for the verbal abuse he just took. But he ain't got nobody. He's all alone.
It's all alone.
But so, what was your question? In my opinion, on the Jericho Omega thing?
Yes.
What Jericho's doing? And I love Jericho. I just did a show on Podcast One here with the God rest his soul, Jimmy Cornette, long ago. And I like Jericho, but he's just stealing from me. I mean, he's starting this Twitter confrontation with Kenny Omega, and I think Jericho started it. I'm thinking, and trying to eat all this. What people's thing is this shoot heat and all this stuff. I mastered that shit years ago. I've been doing that for 13 years, and finally, some of the WWE stars are saying, "Hey, you know, everybody's saying that Bolin shit's more real than what we do," because they never knew if me and Cornette were shooting. Apparently we were. Not friends anymore. And he and Russo have been having troubles recently. And, of course, the despised Big Vito. If he were dead today, I wouldn't bother to piss on his grave. And
don't be so closeted with your opinions.
That's how he gets going, son. And apparently Jericho, not only in that little book of his, where he make his list, he also took some notes down about how Kenny Bolin just pretty much don't take shit about it. He don't fight his battles publicly, and he doesn't hide. His profile pictures will be seen. He'll announce his address. He'll tell you exactly where in Louisville, Kentucky you can come see him at if you disagree with him. And just in case you think of bringing any help, there's a guy that lives above me called the Prince, who Vince Russo himself and Vince McMahon have labeled as one of the toughest sons they ever met in their life. Because he's a shoot deal. He's a real fighter. He's one of these fake wrestlers. He's a real fighter. And you don't want to show up trying to talk shit or trying to punk out his daddy. Not that anybody could, but you just in case, bring a little backup with you. I got a little backup that lives about 14 feet above me in these beautiful high ceilings I got here. And Cherokee Road. I'm hard to find, folks. agree with me, come talk with me. Like Julian Riviera, is that his name?
Julio God, at this point, I don't even know his name. Julio Rivera.
Just had him on your show about 8 seconds ago, and you've done forgot his name. That's
I bet you he'll never let you book him again.
No kidding.
He's more famous now than he's ever been in his life because Kenny Bolin has uttered. Well, no, I haven't really said his name. So I don't know it. But
called him everything from Julian Lennon.
Julian Lennon, Julio Rivera, Julie Morgan.
I see where you get your butchering names from, Jiggy.
Now,
There's a difference. Kenny does it on purpose.
No, Jiggy does it on purpose too.
Jiggy does it because he doesn't know how to say it. Mr. Bolin does it as a little bit of his thing,
I know the guy that was on. I know his real name is Asshole McDouchebag. I knew that.
I thought that was my pet name. Sorry.
That was John's.
Douchebag, because everybody will find him and beat shit out of him. And I don't want any violence going on here today unless I'm the one doing it.
That's right.
Good enough.
We've got Starmaker Kenny Bolin on the old Skype video with us today, and if you're watching us on Periscope,
I Kansas City, Missouri day just to take one shot, slap that little bitch right in the mouth. Oh, asshole douchebag. So if he wants to meet me in Kansas City, I'll go down there and get a big dinner at the Mr. Mosier Sports Bar, and then I'll have somebody wheelchair me over to wherever this piece of shit is. I'll stand up, put on a white glove, and backhand that little bitch right in the mouth and dare him to do anything about it.
Jesus.
What I'll do. Merry Christmas, everybody.
The holiday's going so far, Mr. Bolin.
Happy New Year.
How's your holiday going there, Bolin?
Ain't nothing I love more than showing up on a podcast and dealing with a fucking idiot, and I got to do that today, so I'm in.
Sorry, don't be so harsh on Jiggy.
He's the only one left, and he was an idiot if he didn't think there was going to be drama on this show. Gotta have my boy Jiggy evaluated here is what I have to do.
Now, Sam Wilk checks in with us on Facebook Live, and he wanted me to wish Kenny Bolin Merry Vismas, as in Viscera.
Okay. Well, he got his shot in for the day, so congratulations. Merry Viscera.
He is a huge fan of Viscera, the old King Mabel.
I like Viscera. He was a good guy. I was very good friends with his wife. Don't ask me why.
Well, probably the same reason you're friends with every woman, Kenny. I mean, who could resist you? You're such a stud. Come on now.
You know what? A lot of people said I'm the sexiest fat man on the planet, and who am I to argue with them?
I'll go on then.
The young lady sitting in your chair there. What's her name?
That's Jay Bird Wells. She now has her own camera.
Y'all know how much she stalks me on Facebook.
I do not.
Kenny, don't feel flattered. She stalks everybody.
Inappropriate messages from a female and all.
You're gonna mention that on the radio?
Of course I am. I gotta let everybody know what's going on between me and you. My God. I don't log on here to have sex, but if it happens, so be it.
Oh my God.
I tell you what.
You seem shocked over there, Jake.
I know. It's amazing.
Douchebag just had sex because he really got fucked.
By the way, the worst day of Sam Wilk's life, according to him on Facebook Live, is the day Ezra died.
The worst day of his life? I got news for you, son. The worst day of your life is going to be the day you die. Better re-rank that. You don't know it. That's going to be the worst day of your life. It's going to be over. Don't be worried about when other people die. I've always questioned people. I've had people recently who contacted me. Oh, Kenny, I'm just so depressed. Oh, goddamn. Uncle Benny died, and old Grandma Patterson died. Well, who gives a shit?
Grandma Patterson.
Not you. They're the one that ought to be all upset and pissed. You're still alive. Calm down. Move on. Shit. There's a bad one that ought to be upset, not you. You're still living.
Grandma Patterson.
I really think that's not a positive guy. You can't get more positive than when someone dies going, big shit, I'm still alive.
Good Lord. Starmaker Kenny Bolin.
I mean, not that I really want to see you, but where's your camera shot? Y'all got a multi-camera deal going there?
I have a multi-camera deal going on the production computer.
Show me. I don't have a multi-camera deal. I just got the one shot here. How do I do multi-cameras? How do I do...
Maybe you need to download ManyCam.
I got to download what?
Something called Nanny Cam.
Nanny Cam. Yeah,
like
I bet you got a Nanny Cam. Oh, you're a sick son of a bitch.
You don't know the half of it, Mr.
Bolin. You got a camera on the nanny right now. In his bed.
It's like those geisha girls that he's got tied up in the back room there or something. I don't know.
Hey, if he's got a few of those, I'll come over and visit.
We can hit Mosier's place of employment for the ribs, and then we can.
You ain't gonna give the man a plug. You ain't gonna mention the name of it. At least Mosier's place really exists, unlike this newspaper this piece of shit claims.
Julio Rivera from the
guy,
reactionarytimes.com.
Asshole McDouchebag. Google that. You'll find him if you do that.
Oh
give you
God. We may be and on
lives on Dick Liquor Street.
Jesus.
Or as they like to call Avenue A in Hutchison.
That's right. We may be joined at the top of the hour by the Midwest Mangler. He is going to be in studio.
Don't stay long. If he's a Trump supporter, he'll be out of here.
No, he's not. Don't worry.
He's not a Trump supporter. No,
well, there you go. That's how you book a show. You get people on here to agree with me. Don't get something on that.
I don't know if he'll agree with you, but he's just not a Trump supporter.
Well, that too. Now, John.
Christmas, I lick Donald Trump's balls.
John he had to rearrange his entire schedule because he did not want to miss Christmas with Bolin today.
Now who's this? Oh, John had to rearrange his schedule.
Yes.
So he had to wake up at 1 instead of 2.
No, I've been going to work at like 6 in the morning, training for a new job. But
that was just one thing I didn't like out of that. I had to wake up.
He told me he had a setup with you, so I asked him when I took the job. I go, "Can I have this day off?" Like, yeah, I don't see why not. And they go, why? And I go,
bless their hearts.
I was like, because there's a gentleman that I've been a huge fan of forever, and I get a chance to be part of an interview with them. So I'd really like
the time I'll be called that today is when a gentleman. I won't be hearing that the rest of the day.
You've always been cool to me, Mr. Bolin, so.
I have always been cool with you. I have done that. One of the nicest putovers I've ever had on any radio show was the first time you and I did this show. And I took pity on Jiggy and did his show.
Dude,
I was here for that. That was awesome.
You have no idea how thrilled I was when you started talking. I was like, oh my God.
That was the day Daybird started stalking me and telling me her fantasies and everything. And I was like, God, this is brutal.
Brutal. The one with the battery cables, motor oil, and the ghost.
For those of you that don't know, the Spectrum dummy. Do y'all get Spectrum over in your area?
Oh, we have Cox.
Cox. Here.
Yeah. Well, that guy that was just on had Cox too, but they rented them out.
Different spelling.
Different spelling.
Oh, different spelling. Okay.
It's kind of like, Justin and the Ox LaRoche or whatever his name was, with a C
no
in
offense
front
about
of
Cox in the mouth, Jaybird. I'm not going to talk about some of the legends.
She does live on a farm, so I mean, she has.
A lot of sheep.
Yeah, well, there's 3 sheep.
I love Myara loves sheep. Got any llamas?
Not yet.
Got any alpacas?
Not yet.
Somehow I knew
I
that
got
was going next.
horses and ducks.
Any alcaidas?
A what?
Any alcaidas?
I remember I told the story on Jimmy Cornette's show once about how I went to an alcaida farm up in Ohio.
Farm?
God rest his soul.
Got the pets over the alcaidas.
Al-Qaeda.
And one of those alcaidas just loved me so much and started licking me on the arm and just followed me around everywhere, just a little alcaida. And just one of the nicest alcaida farms I've ever been in my life. Now, alcaidas get bad rap. They're not the thing you hear on the news. Alcaidas are lovely little creatures. They'll kiss you and lick on you. They really are very fond of you. And then Jimmy says, Kenny, don't you mean alpacas? I said, huh, maybe I do. Maybe I got the two confused.
Damn.
I said, if you sit down and put peanut butter on your penis, will an alcaida lick it? And he's probably not, but maybe. I said, well,
might bite it.
You just don't want to smear bacon all over it. You have no chance then.
No, that's just being piggish when you rub bacon on your penis.
That's not kosher sex.
I'm not like this on my other show.
Well, Jiggy brings it out in the best of us.
What the hell all is on that wall out of focus?
that is posters from bands that we've had here in studio.
Yeah. Okay, another question.
We've got our casting couch, as John likes to call it.
But which decade did y'all get that sofa? Don't say anything before 1962. That's not Bolin media microphone, or y'all a lot better than you do. And
the AV
I don't recognize them. Why have you? You're a big money enterprise over there, or so everyone tells me.
I don't
Why
know
have you
that.
not invested in 4 of the Bolin Media microphones? I mean, look at this right here. I mean, good God.
Look at this.
That
You're the golden microphone, like
the Golden Microphone Award. This was presented to me by the good folks at Podcast One.
Podcast One, yeah.
Podcast One,
Yeah,
and I
that.
took my pop filter off to show everybody what beautiful mic that is. And it's got the Bow Club logo on it. Let me see if I can release this here. Y'all see it's upside down, but y'all can get a look at that there, and that's the upside down because they know how I use my microphone. Put the logo on upside down. So that's another one. The Golden Mic Award presented by Podcast One. We'll put that back on there. And that was accomplishing 1 billion downloads in only 13 seasons of podcasting. And some idiot jackass out there going, "Oh, come on, man, you ain't got 1 billion downloads on the Bowling Alley." And I never said the Bowling Alley. At Price Waterhouse, that calculated the numbers.
Price Waterhouse?
Price Waterhouse. They never make mistakes. They're good people. And you factor in not only the bowling alleys I've done for nearly season 14, as a matter of fact, so January 7th. Over on the, well, I just kind of slipped and got a huge announcement about whether or not I'm staying with Russo brand or not. And my season starts on January 7th, but I haven't said where. Will I still be Russo brand? Will I be somewhere else?
Maybe you'll go back to the great Brian Last. Maybe you'll go back over with him.
No, he won't.
Oh, Brian Last place, huh? I'm gonna
I think Brian's the only person he hates more than Julio right now.
Oh, God. Well, him and that dumbass Joe Cronin wears his fucking hat backwards all the time.
Joe Cronin.
Looking like he's had his account shut down more times than most child predators. I mean, he's a sick individual. And thinks he's over, thinks he's fucking somebody, and lives up in New York. If you can't run a podcast in New York and have more than 3,000 followers, you're fucking up. I mean, what the hell? It was a city of 14 goddamn million people. 3,000 ain't very many when you got 14 million base to work off from. But no, he's just one of these big marks that just irritated me. So I did 2 shows with him.
Mark.
I fired him on Jimmy Cornette show. Biggest mark in the world. I mean, I got no problem with marks. The wrestling business would be lost without him. But this guy,
The wrestling business would be lost without him.
oh, it would. You got to have marks, or there's nobody to perform for. And then I had Brian Last Place, who you think this asshole McDouchebag got put in this place. You should have saw what happened to Brian Last when he tried to talk religion and politics and the value of an EPO with me, the Prince, and Maya. Prince and Maya have 4.0 grade point averages and have studied law for the better part of 4 years. And this douchebag, another one.
I remember that episode.
All over the country. And he tried to debate them. So after the debate was over and he was just slaughtered as to why Russo filed the EPO and why I encouraged him to do so, he says,
God, I never knew that part.
Well, I thought I was saving 2 people. I thought I was saving Russo and I was saving Cornette from going to prison, and that little pussy can't handle prison. They'd fuck him up bad in there, and he knows it. So I figured I was doing both of them a favor. Jimmy's never won a fight in his life. He certainly ain't going to win one in prison, not when they all gang up on him for being a little douche. So, you know, they don't like douches in prison for some reason. They think they'd like it. They don't.
Jump in
I
there,
was going
Johnny.
to say, I listened to that whole episode, and Chris and Maya were very excellent in how they said
they
everything.
got calls here, John. They got calls here
I
from
know.
attorneys
Well, remember,
and
I
lawyers and
I
police
messaged
officers.
you and everything and told you I thought it was very well how they did everything.
Yeah, they got calls here at the house for lawyers and attorneys putting them over for how great a job they did.
They were not acting sanctimonious or anything. They just basically stated the facts, told them why and everything. It was very well done. I was very impressed with them.
And then it gets to the end, and Brian says, "Well, I think Russo's a pussy." I mean, that was his argument. I think Russo's a pussy. I said, "Well, you just shit on everything that they just did." This show wasn't even really about Russo. This is about the value of an EPO if you're being abused, be you male or female. And so I told Brian Last it might be a wise idea he file an EPO if he ever shits on any of the work we've done before. You're a goddamn co-host. Stay in your lane, shut your fucking mouth, and do what you're supposed to do, just like Jiggy does.
Pretty much so.
It got a big laugh in the studio, didn't it? And everybody started to laugh because
we were just like, we were trying not to laugh out loud at him because we didn't want to feel bad, So.
Yeah. So,
I
I haven't selected my co-host too well lately, but I'm kind of on an 0 for 3 streak right now.
Hey, can I get into something?
As a matter of fact, I am going to do a reunion show with Harry Barnett sometime in January. Where he was my first. He was my second co-host. We did 5 years together. And my first co-host, Rob Dickin, I think him and I are actually going to do a show, kind of reuniting with some of my old co-hosts. It will not be reunion shows with Joe Dickless Cronin and Brian Last Place, who, while his wife works, he has no job, even though he claimed he studied law. He claims he's had business in that business. He's tied in with Sony. And the only thing with Sony he's ever had is the record he bought down at the drugstore. He's full of shit as a Christmas turkey. So I won't be doing any reunion shows with them, I can assure you that.
So what I've wanted to ask you about like all your stuff with OVW and everything back then, and I know you started out with Gulas out in Nashville, right? Mm-hmm. Now, did you ever do anything in any other spots? Like I know you did a little stuff with Smoky Mountain. Did you ever have an opportunity to do anything anywhere else, or?
I did go up northeast because they let my son do our first ever shows together, working for Jason Wolfie Sanderson up there, and we worked a few legend shows. I said, well, why do you want me on a legend show? This was 2000, like the year 2000. And they were calling me a legend then because of all the people I'd sent to the WWE. And they said, well, we want you to come up here with your son because you will be the first ever first and second generation manager team ever in the history of wrestling. There's never been one where both guys were solely managers. He said the rest of them were either both wrestlers or one was a manager, one was a wrestler, whatever. They said, you're the only second generation. So I got news for you. I said, we're the only third generation managers. And they said, really? There's a third generation? I said, yeah, my mother. And I said, she managed Jerry Lawler twice at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom. And which put her in there as a only manager, and that's all she did. And she managed Jerry Lawler twice against me at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom. So we are the only third generation managers and second generation in the history of pro wrestling. There's never ever been any people have looked at it, they've tried to find it, and let's put it this way, that actually appeared on a television show somewhere. I mean, there might be some backyarders out there that claim that, well, in 1964, my mammy managed me on a trampoline against our next door neighbor. No, I didn't know that.
There might be some wrestling companies in Kansas that...
that might make the publication that Asshole McDouchebag claims he works for, but it didn't make any real publications.
So why did Chris get out of business? I really enjoyed him.
He got fed up with it.
Was it just a promotion there?
I retired. Now, when I'm speaking, does John not hear me? Because there's a lot of times I'm talking, I hear John still talking. Now, is he just being rude?
No, sorry. I apologize for sitting there intruding upon you, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right. You better work on that. Chris got fed up with it. He'd been in for about 4 or 5 years with OVW. I had retired, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, he said basically he was done with it. Didn't like the people at OVW that we were having to deal with from the management side. That was the primary reason I left, even though I didn't tell them that. I just said for health reasons I got to go, but I was sick of it. I just couldn't deal with those people anymore. And Danny had let the monkeys run the zoo, and that wasn't going well. And I didn't want to run the zoo. I mean, if I want to run a zoo, I'll actually go down to the Louisville Zoo and actually be able to deal with monkeys and llamas and alpacas and al-Qaedas and have a good time.
So what's your relationship with Rip Rogers? He was a favorite of mine when he wrestled out of Kansas City.
Rip really, there for a while we got along, and then we had a period of time we didn't, and he despised Chris. Chris despised him. Chris thought that he was too old school and just not evolving with pro wrestling, and Rip is known not to be the most politically correct guy in the world.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And him and Chris just really didn't like each other, so I might have even got some of the reciprocal heat out of that I'd produced such a vile son in the eyes of Rip Rogers. But Rip and I actually do fine. I worked with him at DCW when they started the developmental of the developmental, and he didn't want me to be the commentator because he thought that I put myself over too much on the shows. I said, well, when the talent in the ring sucks, somebody's got to be a star. Somebody's going to have to fucking get some attention and make people tune in. So put on better matches if you don't want me to talk about me. And so he didn't hear that explanation either. But they ended up out of a force of not having anybody else qualified to do it. They had to take me at DCW. And he liked how I did it and called me up and said he was wrong. He says, you do a great job with that. You did exactly what I wanted you to do. And he says, you might be the first person in the history of the business who gets cheered on Thursday nights when you come in here to do DCW shows, and they boo you out of the house on Wednesday nights when you do OVW, and it's pretty much the same crowd.
Now, when
he says, I've never seen anybody do that before. He said, but you're the commissioner on DCW and the announcer, so they love you there. But you're the heel manager and commentator when you come to OVW, and they hate you there. And he said, it's pretty much the same damn audience on 2 nights in the same building. He said, I have never seen that happen, because I thought I'd get booed both places. Did. Because I'd never been a babyface ever in my life, ever. But no, and I think Rip and I still have a decent relationship. I mean, we're not buddies and hang out together, but he lives in Seymour and I live here. And, but we acknowledge each other on Twitter from time to time, and actually even did a couple shows together. So, now Rip and I do fine.
Did you do anything when they were co-promoting with HWA, or did you just not have anything to do with them at all?
You know what? Sorta. Mainly it was their guys coming here and interacting with us. I didn't go to Cincinnati and do any of the split shows with them other than a couple of casino shows. But those were WWE based, and we were running those just using a little HWA talent.
Right.
That's where I worked with Booker T. Me and Rico went up there and worked with Booker T. It's when my son got to meet Booker. His very, very first show that he ever did with WWE was with us. They sent him here to get the ring rust off a little bit, and that was his very, very first show. And Booker was very pleasant, treated my son very good, and posed for pictures with the WCW title with him in the back. And it was a good experience. We worked with Kane up there. I don't remember if Undertaker went there or not. I don't think he did. There was a couple of the casino shows I didn't do, but the ones I definitely did were with Kane and with Booker T. I kind of picked and chose my own shows back then. If I thought I could make money, I'd go. If I didn't, I'd stay home.
A couple more questions, and I'll quit hogging all your time here. But who were some of the guys that you worked with down in OVW when it was a developmental that didn't become stars and you thought they should have? And who became stars that you thought there was no way in hell they were ever going to become anything?
Well, Jimmy had a shitload of those. There's all kinds of people Jimmy didn't think would be a star, and then I would disagree with him, and they would. Vince McMahon didn't think Cena would be a star. They wanted to let him go. We could talk him out of it. They wanted to let Rico go, which they did. And we talked them into letting him work his last 90 days in WWE, and they ended up signing him on for like 4 or 5 more years. People that I didn't think had what it took that I managed. I sent 54 to the WWE, and I'll be the first to tell you, all 54 of them probably shouldn't have went, but because they were being seen on TV and because they were being featured in feuds with me, either with me or against me, there's a lot of guys that got called up that probably otherwise would not have. Sin managed on those shows just like I did, and Sin only sent one person to the WWE, which was Batista. And I said, well, you know, you can have that son of a bitch.
I've always been a Batista mark. Why don't you like Dave?
Oh, supposedly Dave sends hellos to me from time to time, but what got Dave heat with OVW? With me, is the first time I ever met Dave. You know me, I compliment women like a son of a bitch. And I tease women like a son of a bitch. Always making a joke. That and the other. So
Jay is nodding her head. She would agree.
Yeah, she would agree with it. So the first time that Dave and I ever met, we're doing a show at St. Therese Church in Louisville. And we're out in the parking lot, and people know that I got connections with the Cincinnati Reds because me and Dave Miley were real friends. And I've thrown out the first pitch at Louisville baseball games probably 3 or 4 times. As a matter of fact, they told me that I'm the only one ever to do it more than twice. And so I've thrown out the first pitch several times, and Miley would invite me and Rico and Cena and Mark and everybody to hang out in the dugout with them during off days and have cookouts. And we'd go for pre-game meals. I mean, we celebrity, we private boxes at a few games. Me, Cena, Big Show, Mark Henry all did that. And that would be a kick out of having Big Show and Mark Henry and John Cena bringing them food. And Cena wasn't the big star that he is now, but now that people are like, oh my God, John Cena brought popcorn. Should have made my hamburger. No one told him, but it really happened. And so we had a great relationship with the little Bass kids. So Miley would hook me up with a ticket before he started managing there and get us luxury seats. Normally have 4 or 6 of us, you know. He just, how many of you want to go and take care of you. And so Batista hears us talking, me and Cena and Rico and others on the park hears us talking about going to see the Wizard. he walks and says, "Man, that sounds great, man. You got hookups with Cincinnati Reds." I said, "Yeah, man, I like him." So look at his little brunette wife over there. Goddamn bitch. And I can't even think of her name. She got banned from OVW. Cornette hated her so bad. He wouldn't even let her come to shows. And but we didn't know that yet. This was the first show we'd seen her at. She's a cute little thing. Just a little, bitch and bad attitude. And I look over at his wife and I said, "Well, Batista," I said, "we only got room for one more ticket, and I'm taking a look at you and I'm taking a look at your wife." I said, "Tell you what, why don't I take your wife with me?" Which she wasn't his wife, it was his girlfriend, I just didn't know. "Why don't I take your wife with me? She can sit with me at the ball game, and she can tell you how great the game was when we get back. How's that?" And he just looks at me, and he's madder than a fucking hornet. And I go, so I was, well, he ain't got no fucking sense of humor. Fuck him. So I walk away, and me and Rico go to my car. Cena goes to his. And me and Rico are just getting ready to get in the car. And of course, we had Chris with us, and I think one other. And he walks up, Mr. Bolin, can I have a word with you?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, why? Can I speak to you in private?" And I said, "Well, there ain't shit you can say to me in front of these guys. It can be said. If you got something to say it. I don't cheat on my wife." And I looked at him. I just grinned at him. I said, "Really?" I said, you took that as I was hitting on your wife." "Yeah, and I don't appreciate it. And I know this might get me some heat with the office, and it might even get me some heat with Cornette, because I know you and Cornette are tight. But I don't like it, and I don't want you hitting on my wife." I look around at Rico, and Rico's like, "Oh, fuck, are you kidding me?" Chris is grinning. He gets in the car, and I look back at Batista. I said, "I tell you what," and I put my hand on his shoulder, "you will never, ever have to worry about me hitting on your wife again. I promise you. You've got my word." And he just looks at me, and I look at him. I said, I promise you." So I get in the car, and I never spoke another word to that motherfucker again the entire time he was in OVW, until Jimmy books us the Bolin services against the Disciples of Sin, and I had to get in the ring and hit him with a briefcase when he wasn't looking. That was we never spoke a word. We didn't go over the match. All he knew is he was getting hit with that briefcase. And he was scared shitless, because he knew that if people fucked with me or tried to fuck with me, that you could either get hit with the flat of the briefcase, or you could catch the edge right upside the goddamn head, which hurt real fucking bad. And he wasn't sure which one he was going to get that day. So he wasn't real excited about taking that briefcase shot, because at 100 and something pounds, I could, and I can swing a baseball bat pretty good. Well, I can swing a briefcase pretty goddamn good too. So we got in there, and I had talked myself out of hitting that motherfucker with the edge of that briefcase and just knocking that big monkey out. But monkey. I didn't, and I was professional about it, and I hit him flat in the back like a good little boy, and it hurts, but nowhere near like the edge of it would. And I think he appreciated that. And we did okay, and supposedly he sends hellos to me every time someone bumps into him, but he also said that he didn't learn one thing in OVW, and that's why he sucked so bad when he got to the WWE. They didn't teach me that. They didn't teach me that. Well, at that point, we had sent 30 some odd people to the WWE, and I think it was like 38. So the agents up there, they said, "Well, the other 37 before you got here knew the shit. Why the fuck don't you know it?" If all 37 of you didn't know, I'd say there's some validity to what you're saying. Maybe you're just stupid and you can't fucking learn. Well, so they were brutal to him when he got there. And Danny got word that he buried OVW. And Danny Davis made the quote in his office once. He said, "If I ever see that motherfucker in person, I'll put a goddamn bullet in his head." I'm going, fuck, that's heat. Not even I want to shoot him in the head. So I just wanted to hit him with a
Jesus.
So no, to this day, he was not too popular with Danny Davis. I don't think we never brought him back for any of the Six Flags shows. We didn't have him come back to OVW for signing. Hell, we even had Brock Lesnar come back, but and Brock left with a hell of a lot of heat too. But no, now hell, Brock and Danny are best goddamn friends now. Brock contacts Danny all the time, and supposedly he says hello to me too. And he and I've had our run-ins. And I once got pie-faced by Brock, and I didn't go down, and I think that made him mad. And then Sylvester Turkey was going to whip his ass, and then back then, that would have probably happened, for sure, because Sylvester was the better of the fighters back then between the two of them. And so we'll tell that story on another show, because I've told that one so damn many times. As a matter of fact, I told that one on Bill After's show, so... If you want to hear the Brock Les story, and this can be confirmed by Rico, Sylvester Turkey, Shelton Benjamin, countless others that were there, They got mad. They called me like, you didn't get punked up, but Brock Lesnar touched you, you'd be dead, man. I'm going, yeah, that's right. He's a superhero.
He's a superhero.
He pie-faced me, and I should have dropped dead, guys. That's exactly right. No, they didn't want to believe me. It didn't happen. And finally, some people wrote in and said, hey, dumb fucks. We were there. We saw it. And as a matter of fact, Jimmy Cornette made him call and apologize to me that night. And he did not like that. He said, you ever put your hands on anybody in office again? He says, not only will you be fired from here, he says, you'll be fired from there. You do not fucking touch somebody now. Well, they didn't view me as that. They didn't realize that I set up all their personal appearances and booked all the sponsoring and hung all the banners on the shows and of course they didn't like the fact that I made pretty good commission off all those too. So some people knew, a lot of the guys didn't. They just thought those banners showed up by some miracle, and I was the one selling them for $1,500 a month. But I got 30% of that for each banner that I hung, and I normally had 4 to 6 banners hanging on the show. So I made real good money at OVW. Well, as a matter of fact, Danny Davis says to this day, I'm still the highest paid person ever in the history of OVW. And that includes all the guys they had that were making $750 and $1,000 a week. The only ones I would not have beat on a yearly basis would have been Big Show and Brock and Mark Henry, because they had practically $1 million contracts when they got there. Brock was making $250,000 a year, which none of the other boys were. They were making $500 to $750 a week.
Wow.
Mark Henry was making $900,000 a year, and Big Show was in the neighborhood of $900,000 a year when they got here. So, but they were under WWE contract. As far as OVW contracts, developmental, I'm still the highest paid, and I never even signed a contract. I just worked for commissions and whatever I got paid doing the shows. And of course, selling merchandise at the shows eventually once I retired from managing and became a commentator. So I only got to sell merchandise 6 years of the 17 years I was there. Because if you were a heel, you weren't allowed to sell merchandise.
What was the big difference, trying to say exactly, from before it was the WWE developmental till after? I mean, I know the talent was different, but I seen some stuff from the old arena that I really liked. And I mean, you had a really good part in everybody developing, because Mr. Bolin would sit there and he would basically feed things to people to make it easier for them when they were doing interviews and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were excellent at that.
And, well, me and Cornette were excellent at that too, because Jimmy would write so many fucking notes, and I hated notes. And I got to the point I said, man, just tell me what you want me to cover. And just give me bullet points. Don't write a script. I'm not going out there being Jimmy Cornette. And just give me the bullet points. I'll put it in my own words, and trust me, this will go a lot better. So that's how they did my shit. And I just went out there, and it's just like anything else I do. Tell it like you believe it. Tell it like it's the God's honest truth. And if you believe it, the fans will believe it. And I tried to teach my wrestlers to do that too. And who got really good at that was Cena, Rico.
Yeah, Rico was excellent.
Bull Buchanan wasn't a master pro guy, but when he had to cut one to where he's angry, he was real good at those. And eventually got a lot better. Mark Henry, to be honest with you, struggled at promos. It wasn't his specialty. So, I mean, that's why I got put with a lot of these guys, was to eventually enhance them and get them to the point where they could at least survive a promo. But Cornette would tell everybody, well, Bolin's a natural born liar anyway. You know, he's just going to get in there, and whatever he says he believes. If he tells you he built the Roman Empire, then he fucking believes he did. So, so that's the art of it, is just believing what you say and then getting your people. The old story back in the day was I'd tell a lie and Cornette would swear to it. Well, that's how you got to get your wrestlers to be. You just follow along with what I'm doing, and you enhance whatever story I'm telling. And if I pitch it to you, you just enhance whatever story I'm telling, and you tell it like it's the God's honest truth. If we tell people that we go into Jeff Ruby's and they pay us to eat there, then goddamn, that's the story we're telling, and you tell it like it's the God's honest truth.
So it's the George Costanza principle. It's not lying if you believe it.
Repeat that. I had to take my headphones off.
It's the George Costanza from Seinfeld principle. It's not a lie if you believe it.
No, and exactly. And I was doing it long before Costanza was doing it. I promise you that. As a matter of fact, I've told people, I said, I've got lies I told in the 60s that I still believe are true this day. As long as I believe this is enough for me.
Holy smokes. It is top of the hour time. We have the fabulous Jaybird Wells with us in studio wearing her, what is this?
It's a butterfly.
It's a butterfly dress.
Jared needs to shut her goddamn mouth. She's yapping this whole fucking show, and I'm getting a little sick of it.
And then we've got the amazing...
You know what? Jaybird is a lot like how her and I are in bed. She just don't say much.
Yeah, we've got John Mosier with us.
Just keeps quiet and enjoys herself, and just makes sure I'm happy. And
pretty much
like that.
And then, of course, on Skype, we have the amazing Blowfish in a Twine Factory himself, Starmaker Bolin.
And so where are we being fed here? We're on Skype.
We are on Skype. We're on Facebook Live. Last I checked.
How can we be on both? How do you do that?
We're on Periscope. We're on. We're going to be on YouTube later.
Casey of Casey and the Sunshine Band uses Periscope as well. I'm familiar with that for reason. But Harry Wayne Casey uses that too.
We are on.
Light and Get Down Tonight fame, my favorite singer of all. Well, I also like Roland Orbison, Tears for Fears. He's one of my favorites.
Tears for Fears. Well,
my gosh, there's a band I haven't heard of in forever.
Do you know? Now here, you can look this up, guys. You know the highest paid singer rather, the highest paid singer last year in all of music was Roland Orbison of Tears for Fears. There's some magazine out there that prints the top 10.
Really? How did this happen?
Well, he's got all kinds of shit he's into. Not only music, but he is a master businessman from Bath, England. And I saw this magazine come out because everybody gives me shit for still liking Tears for Fears. They still sell out.
I'm a big Tears for Fears mark.
What's that?
I'm a big Tears for Fears mark.
Well, Roland Orbison, the lead singer. As a matter of fact, when they faded the band away, he just got rid of Kurt Smith, and he said, "Well, I did all the writing, I produced all the music, and I named the band, so it's my band." So, and then him and Kurt got back together, and hell, they just did a huge show in Germany just a few weeks ago that sold out. So I'm hoping they come here. That's my big thrill, is to get to meet him. He's just cool as shit, man. I never dreamed he was the highest paid singer in the business, but I think he made like $900 million or something. and his wife recently died too, so you know he's had a tough year, but apparently financially he's okay. It might not be 900 million. Somebody can look that up. Just type in Roland Orbison highest paid, and
well, sure you know what's funny is I think Jay and John are both doing that this week.
Find out what it is, what magazine made that claim, because boy, of course my son. No, there's no way he's making more than the Jay-Z. There's no more he's making more than the Beyonce, and which adds up. You wouldn't think so, but see what magazine it was, because I haven't read that article in about a month or two.
Now, last
Tears for Fears highest paid singer, and then see what comes up.
Starmaker Bolin, of course, has got the Beats by Bolin. He's got the microphone there with the Bolin on it.
Got the white one over here too.
You got the white one.
The white one's got the Bolin Media or the Bolin Club logo on it. Silver head.
And then you've got the black. And then of course there's the Bolin Club shirts and hoodies and hats, and now you've got calendars. Good Lord!
Yes, absolutely. We have the. Hang on here. You're gonna love this.
Bolin Claus has brought us all sorts of things.
Bolin Club mouse pad.
Bolin Club mouse pad.
Yeah. The Kenny Bolin mug.
Look at that, the Kenny Bolin mug.
Kenny Bolin mug.
I feel some sort of Spaceballs reference. We got Kenny Bolin the lunchbox, Kenny Bolin the flamethrower.
God damn, I need a lunchbox. No one has them anymore. I'd just make 10 of those, you know it?
Kenny Bolin lunchbox, Kenny Bolin thermos.
Hey, there you go.
Kenny Bolin hats.
I do not like wearing a hat, but my fans do.
And we've got you could get a partnership with Yeti, and you could have the Bolin Yeti cups.
There you go. Well, I haven't done that yet. There's a close up of the hats.
Yes, she loves me. I love her too. She's fantastic.
I don't wear hats often, but
at least I haven't been called a cancer or a pariah this week.
Not yet. No, we sold out.
That was just yesterday, Kenny.
Yeah.
Now I've been called Jiggy. Was it Jiggy Jackoff? Jiggy Jackoff.
Jiggy's got more heat with the wrestling promotions up here than Jim Cornette does with Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Bowling Club hoodie now.
Bowling Club hoodies.
When you getting one of those, then hang on here. We'll give you a view of the back of it there.
As he spins. Look at that. Bowling Club.
Hands up.
We got that on camera.
I missed it. I wasn't watching the camera.
BS logo on each sleeve there. We went through a little expense with these things.
You did. Good Lord.
Every hoodie, you can't beat that.
Can't beat it.
The hoodies are $59.95. The hats are $25.95. I quit selling the mouse pads, but I guess people begged hard enough. I'd order 25 more of them and sell those. Vince Russo died when he saw that I had Bowling Club mouse pads. He loved that.
So,
Bowling Media.
That night we spent together, does that earn me a sweater or a hoodie?
What's that? Hell no, it don't. But what
Hell no, it don't.
The girl can try.
If I gave every girl I fucked a hoodie, I'd be broke.
Oh my God! Oh my Lord!
I'd be out $118.
$118.
Yeah, but every girl I fucked, I gave a hoodie, I'd be broken out $118. That's where I'd be.
Good God in heaven!
Life stuff. Now, every girl that fucked me got a hoodie, I'd be out about $1 billion. That'd be another story. Yeah, you got to think on that with a second, fans.
You do. You do.
And every girl that fucked me, there you go. Just process that for a second.
Just process it. Just do the whole thing.
I showed you the white mouse pad. I didn't show you the black mouse.
This is absolutely amazing. The Bolin brand is everywhere.
Bowling brands everywhere. Well, you see the banners in the background. You see those, Hang on here.
What else? What else you got for us, Kenny? Look at that. Spinning around. We got the bowling pillows. We got there's bowling pillows. Why do you have pillows, Kenny? You got the giant computer monitor. Good Lord. We're getting an inside look at the at the Bolin the Bolin Media Complex there.
The Placious Bolin
4K above the fireplace.
That's right.
I'm staring at you guys on a 55-inch 4K here above my computer desk.
Sweet.
Well, you know what? I can show that too. Hang on, I got a swivel camera. Hang on.
Look at this. He's got it all.
We'll go. Internet would quit going down. I could keep up with this, but
yeah, it's choppy. It's because we're running too many video resources, probably. Look at that. We're getting a live look in at the what did you call it, John?
The palatial Bolin estate.
Yeah, the Cornette gave this place a name. I can't remember what it was.
God rest his soul.
Bolin Manor. That's what it was. Over at Stately Bolin Manor.
Stately Bolin Manor. God bless Will Jimmy Cornette.
Batman's place was.
Speaking of Batman,
Stately Bolin Manor.
Kenny Bolin on Skype. Kenny, if you look at your screen, you're going to be potentially seeing. As he calls himself, the only real pro wrestler, the Mangler. The Mangler has arrived. Jay Birdwell's Bolin business cards. Holy smokes, look at that. He's got the Bolin Club white business cards. And if you're a racist, you've got the Bolin black business cards. This is incredible. We've got Bolin headphones. We're going to go back to the 4-shot there for the folks on live. They can...
If Batman can have a bat phone, I
If Batman can have a bat phone, you can have a Bolin phone. Look at this. I'll tell you, he's got more Bolin stuff. This is amazing.
As my son says, Dad, you sure think a lot of yourself.
We've got Jaybird Wells with us. We got John Mosier, as you can see, setting up. He is going to be sitting on the couch here in just a few moments. The Midwest Mangler, as they call him.
She just unfriended me.
What?
She just unfriended me.
She's not a fan of me. Apparently, she's not a fan of...
evidently, anybody who doesn't like Jiggy is starting to unfriend me.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to be friendless by the end of the day the way this shit.
No kidding. On all 3 accounts with 11,000 people.
Somewhere over there, I think the green plug.
Hang on.
There's a...
Shut up.
Jay can give you instructions on where to plug in. Possibly.
Here, I'm trying to debut something here. I'm making a.
You're trying to debut something. The world debut, Kenny Bolin. Look at that, Bolin Club T-shirts. Wait a sec. He's making the adjustments. We're gonna go back here.
The white Bolin Club shirt.
Bolin Club shirt.
Yeah. And the shirts are $25.95.
Shirts are $25.
They come in black and white. Hats are $25.95.
They should all be working.
They should all be working. There's headphones. There's all sorts of things. You might have to turn the mic on.
I'd have to get up to go get my book. You're all familiar with the book. The book is now being lowered to $19.95 for the first time. There's been $29.95 for 2.5 years.
You can even take it off the stick.
This year,
if you want to hold it like a... Look at that. You're the Mangler.
Just came in here and started breaking shit.
The Mangler has joined us. And Kenny, as you can see on the couch, we have the Mangler.
Yeah, the Mangler's not a Trump supporter, is he?
Not at all. What's up?
All right, then we're going to get off to a better start than we did with, what did I say his name was? Douchebag McAsshole? Was that his name?
You know what's funny? And I have to put this out there. I sent it to Kenny, but I have a message from this gentleman. He sent me a message on Facebook, and he said, listen, you. I don't know who the fuck I was talking to, but you can have your pseudo-tough guy guest, or it might have been you I was talking to. It really doesn't matter, because I've never heard of any of you humanoids. Step up to me at CPAC, which is the Conservative Political Action Conference. I dare you to disrespect me to my face, cocksucker.
Well, if he's never heard of me, we're friends on Facebook, so...
Yeah. Well, it's like Trump. Trump doesn't know the 31 women that have said that, hey, you groped me or stuck your finger up my hole. He doesn't know them either.
Oh, crap. I think he unfriended me, too.
To claim we don't know somebody.
Jeez, Jiggy, that's 2.
I'm clearing up spots on Jaybird's Facebook friends list for the holidays, Kenny.
Left and right, huh? God damn.
Bringing gifts the holiday
I think he even blocked me.
I've noticed that every Trump supporter I lose, I gain 10 decent people, so I never have worried about that.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Fuck a goddamn Trump supporter.
Oh, Starmaker.
I don't even speak to my brother anymore over that shit. No,
really?
I have Trump supporters as friends, but if you're trying to swerve me and try to convince me that this is a decent fucking human being, then fuck you. I mean, if you want to stand by someone who has basically said, I will shove my finger up your wife's pussy, and that's cool with you, then you go ahead and support him. He raped a 13-year-old. He got out of it because his dad had money, but his buddy, who also raped a 13-year-old, went to prison. So the guy that had money got off from it. He got off twice, apparently. And then he got off, his friend did not. What do you think?
Good Lord.
Why is it whenever I defend a guest on your show, I get blocked?
Well, wait a minute. You mean someone has actually complained about me today? The hell?
Oh, dear.
Well, apparently 24% of registered voters voted for Trump, so we can take those 24% and just shove them in a goddamn dumpster somewhere. So, the way I see that.
Really?
Yeah, I love it whenever I go on a rant on Trump. I'll see, oh God, he lost 5 followers. He lost 8. One day he lost 13, and then the next day you got like 10 times as many that take the place of every guy that left. So fuck 'em.
Well, send them my way.
We'll send him your way.
Jiggy will piss him off.
I know. Seriously.
I go on these rants. I said, let me tell you, cocksucker, something. I can wake up tomorrow and have one follower, and as long as he's not a Trump supporter, I'll be happy with that.
Oh my God. So Mangler, do you? What your opinion of Trump?
I hate him.
Why do you hate Trump?
He's not a nice guy.
No,
I don't know.
He's not a nice guy. I mean, that's really all you need.
He's not a normal human. He's not a normal human being. But other than that, I don't want to get into my political views. Otherwise,
I was gonna say we're just dumb entertainers, right?
I've got blood pressure problems. I'm already nervous enough being here in Hutch. You notice I wore my hat.
My last words talking about what a piece of shit Trump is. I'm all dead right here. I'll be fine with it.
Oh my God. We've got Starmaker Bolin on Skype. We have John Mosier in studio, Jay Birdwell's in her butterfly dress. And the Mangler has joined us, the Midwest Mangler.
I wore my green shoes.
Hillary Clinton a blowjob. Let's see what that does to her on
Say that again. Back up. Say that again.
Go.
I wore my green shoes, or what are you saying?
No, wait. He was saying about
I
blowjobs.
think about the shoes better.
What was he saying about blowjobs?
What were you saying about blowjobs there, Kenny?
I said that Jay Bird once gave Hillary Clinton a blowjob. Now let's see how many followers she loses.
Wow. Oh, this is a hell of a deal.
Dumb fucks out there. He means that she gave Bill Clinton a blowjob. You can't give Hillary a blowjob. I hear you can.
Wow.
She wears those pantsuits for a reason, folks. I got news for you.
Now, this was a hell of a deal because in the first hour we had as we were talking, we had Julio Rivera call in.
Who just blocked me on one account.
Julio Rivera was going to call in and tell us about all the great things Donald Trump has done.
I put an end to that shit.
And Bolin kind of
Did he already deport him?
he deported himself. He hung up on us.
He hung up on us.
He was going to sing the 12 Days of Christmas.
He was going to sing the 12 Days of Trumpness, and he got to day number 4, and Kenny kept cutting him off, and finally he just went, "I'm done." Yeah. And then he sent me that nasty message on.
Blocked me, and I defended him.
And
you know, we're gonna have so much to talk about today. We're gonna have to go into a third hour.
We've had to go to a third hour.
I just got here.
It is Starmaker Bolin. Now, of course, if you don't know who Starmaker Bolin is, he is the manager of champions. He's the man who discovered John Cena, Mark Henry,
just fired from
Rico,
Dolph Ziggler, another world champion I used to manage.
Now, of course, Kenny also, he told the story earlier, which I think is hilarious. Batista, when he was in OVW, wanted to take his wife, or girlfriend at the time, to a baseball game. And Kenny said, well, we only have one ticket, so I'm going to have her go with me. She can sit with me. And then after the game, she'd come home and tell you how great it was. And he goes, Batista didn't appreciate that.
We had a little talk with it over by my car. He didn't care for it too much. I promised him I'd never, ever hit on his wife again, and I went the rest of his OV and WWE career not speak a word to him. I had to work a match with him, and I wouldn't go over the match with him. He just found out I was going to hit him with a briefcase. That's all he knew. And he also knew that if you fucked with me, that a lot of people would get in the head with the edge of the briefcase instead of the flat part. And he wasn't too sure what part he was going to get, but I had to show I was a professional and not crack his fucking skull open on goddamn worldwide television. So.
Good Lord. Now, John, you had some interesting questions from the Starmaker earlier. Do you have any more of those OVW type questions?
Yeah, Kenny, who thought up things like, the Jack Black, with your protection, and Jerome Crony, and
both of those were my ideas. Jimmy came up with a lot of the shit. But they were fading Crony, who was a masked wrestler there, babyface. The American Eagle is who Crony was. They were fading him out, and they were fading Jack Black out. And I liked both of them, and I wanted to keep them with me because we were fading out all the shit talent because we knew all the WWE talent was coming in. And so I was fired from the show as an announcer and said, if you want to make your keep around here, you can recruit your own wrestlers. You're not going to get your hands on any of ours. And so I said, that's fine. So I went away for a couple of weeks, and then I came back with my first signed wrestler, and that was Jack Black, who was, goddamn, what was he? There was Jebediah Blackhawk and Cousin Otter. Jack Black was Cousin Otter, and he wrestled in fucking the overhauls, and that was it. So we got him out of that stupid fucking gimmick and made him the head of security. Put him in a black suit with a white dress shirt and tie, and he wore glasses, and he was my security. And turned out Jack, who weighed about 350 pounds, could bump his ass off and even do moonsaults off the top rope.
Yes, he had like 10. That's the reason I was wondering.
So I signed him. He was my first one, and then I signed Bull Buchanan. Then eventually I got Crony to be my assistant manager. And that was because as I was sneaking up on 300 pounds, I didn't want to take any fucking stupid bumps. So Crony would take bumps for me. So I'd do all the talking and take a bump off the side of the ring every now and then. And Crony did the stupid shit, and which he was happy to do because it kept him working in OVW.
That was the American Eagle bit. That was that kind of a rub at Danny Davis from when he was doing the masked American Eagle thing down USW.
Danny created all that shit. All that shit was there when I got there.
Okay.
Cousin Otter and the Jebediah Blackhawk and American Eagle and Juan Hutardo and the Seymour Punks. All that shit was Danny Davis created.
Seymour Punks.
The Seymour Punks from Seymour. Like anyone gave a shit that Punks were from Seymour, Indiana, fucking 52 up the road. So no, that was all Danny Davis shit, and I mean, he got some mileage out of it. You know,
it'd be like
I have to say our stuff got over
there. I loved it. I loved Mr. Black. I thought he was very good on everything. That's the reason I was asking, because
yeah, he did a great job. He was with me for a long time. He's still wrestling down here now. He got up over 590 pounds.
Damn.
Wow.
And, he had the gastric bypass surgery. I haven't had it yet because I lost 145 on my own. But I'm still probably going to do it because I still, you know, I went from 569 to 425. And 425 is still a lot of weight on a nearly 60-year-old man. But I'm doing a lot better now than I was a year ago. But my son's still trying to talk me into doing the surgery. Just said it'd be a lot easier. And a year from now, you know, you'll be back in the 200s. So, you know, I'm strongly thinking about it. I've already been approved for it. So, but it does change your life quite a bit.
Oh,
Food is not the same thing anymore once you have these surgeries. Jack went from 590 pounds to now he weighs maybe 240, if he's even that much. And he still wrestles to this day.
Wow.
Nice. What about, like, how much influence did you have with, like, some of the other managers they brought in, like Mo Green and some of those other guys?
Well, they were all my subsidiary managers. There's a lot of people that thought
subsidiary managers.
Subsidiary managers.
So did you have like a network?
Yeah, I guess more or less I did. Head nurse
awesome.
Lulu, she was more or less a subsidiary manager. And what they would do, they had me managing so many people, you can't send me out at ringside with one of them. So Crony more or less became Jack's personal manager because he could go out there and be the distraction and take the bumps, and he'd always save me for main events. So normally I would manage the Ricos, the Cenas, the Bull Buchanans, the Mark Henrys. Sometimes we'd all be out there. It'd be me and Thurston Throckmorton, who was my attorney. So everybody had a gimmick. I had a head nurse. I had an attorney. Crony was
head nurse.
Crony was the accountant. Everybody had a business title. Head secretary, head nurse. You know, they're just. Miss Lulu was the secretary. I'm sorry, Miss Lulu was head nurse. Miss Blue was lead secretary. She took a lot of dictation in the back, and yeah,
wow.
Just seeing who's paying attention to anything.
Wow.
And, we wouldn't even say that on TV. Well, where's Miss Blue today? I think she's taking dictation from Mr. Black in the back. I think taking a lot of dictation lately from a lot of the guys.
Wow. I think me and John are the only two that caught that, because Jay's sitting over there just going through Facebook, not a problem. Mangler's going through Facebook, not a problem.
I sent Kenny a picture to check his messenger.
Well, I'm probably not. But let me see. Shit.
We've got why Kenny checks his Facebook Messenger for this photo. We have Starmaker Bolin on Skype. We have John Major in studio.
Oh my God! Jay Bird Wells just sent me a picture of her pussy. Oh my God!
And we've got Jaybird Wells. It was
you guys, y'all ain't gonna believe this, but this weird ass bitch has two pussies. One's black and one's white, just in case you're in that mood. You know, you want to switch it up every now and then.
Oh my God!
Now, does it have Jiggy the Gentleman's Son Jeffro in there?
So,
you know what's funny, Star? John brings up an interesting point. I have an illegitimate.
Just so you know, Jaybird, I'll pet that black pussy all night long, just so you're aware of it.
I have an illegitimate son running around,
like
Starmaker.
Just so y'all know.
He's still focused on the pussy over there. John brings up an interesting point. I have an illegitimate son, Starmaker.
The white pussy I saw just ain't big.
He's carrying this. He wants to get back to the pussy over there with Jaybird Wells.
What a dirty show. What a filthy show, y'all.
It's Christmas with Bolin.
Goddamn cats, you fucking weirdos. She showed me a picture of her two pussies, one black and one. You people are fucking sick. You belong living in a house somewhere with asshole douchebag in Birmingham, Alabama, somewhere. Waiting for Judge Roy Moore. Riding on his horse, lusting girls at the mall. That's the kind of people you all are.
Jesus.
I'd like to say that I'm accused of liking the young ladies, but I've never been banned.
Jiggy's not allowed at either one.
I'm not allowed at the petting zoo.
Well, I did get a little carried away with the llamas, the alpacas, and the Al-Qaedas.
And the Al-Qaedas, that's right. That's right.
I'll get one.
Al-Qaedas are cute little creatures. Black with furry fuckers, though, they're all right.
I heard a deal. I seen a deal the other day on one of the social.
Deal or you saw one. Pick a story.
Oh my God.
That's a liar right there. He's writing one sentence that, well, I heard a story. Well, I saw one. Well, I made one up.
I never make any stories up.
Whatever.
Everybody knows I don't make any stories up here.
All right.
I make no stories up.
All right, let's hear your story.
I don't make any stories up, and we all know that and I want to make sure that I get this on camera, that if drama is right here and I'm right here, I'm running that way away from it.
Yeah. All right.
There we go. As long as we know you're running from the
Something in the air.
There's a stench of like what she was saying bullshit going on there.
Give me a second, guys, and talk amongst yourselves. I'm dealing with a bad cold, and I got to blow mine up.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. We will. Now, Jaybird Wells is losing friends nationwide.
Jeez. Well, let's see here. I've got 7 people left to max out this account now. So let's go 7 people.
7 people need to friend her. And then of course there's a guy. For the first time ever, he's always talked about coming to the show. And
he's about avoiding the fucking show. All right. Which camera am I supposed to look at? This one, or the hidden one over here?
Oh shit! There's a hidden one.
The hidden one's for a different
I've
reason.
only seen one camera shot the whole goddamn time I've been here. I haven't seen Jiggy or John since I started the show.
Now, Bolin,
you're lucky.
We've got the Midwest Mangler in studio, who is trained by Brian Knobs.
I'm sorry. No, I never really knew Brian and his partner that well. I got a Hulk Hogan story for you if you'd like to hear it.
Oh, God. What? Tell us the Hulk Hogan story.
Okay. Well, he wasn't Hulk Hogan then. He was in Memphis as Terry Boulder. And as everyone knows, his real name's Terry Bolin, but he was here in Memphis. It was the first matches he ever had. Lawler or somebody discovered him in a gym. So they, Jerry Jarrett signed him. They brought him to Memphis.
So they're to
blame. And they brought Beefcake with him as his brother, Eddie Boulder. So Beefcake and Hogan started here in Memphis. Well, I say here in Memphis, in the Memphis territory. And they were here for a while, and poor Hulk couldn't get through a fucking 5-minute match of his life depended on it. He was just big, and they just did everything they could to get through matches with him. And Beefcake was even worse than Hogan, and couldn't say shit if he had a mouthful. Promos were goddamn terrible on Beefcake. Hogan's were not very good, but you know he was trying. At least they thought there was something there that they could get out of Terry. And I'm about, I guess, 16, 17 years old then, and he'd been with us for a little while. And we have shows at Rupp Arena, but they got to get promos. Normally would do all the promos in Memphis, but they had to do them in Lexington this night so they could get them done, get them back to Memphis, and ready to air in all the towns. And I think I'm backstage with Lawler and Dundee and a few of them, and they're trying to get a promo out of Hogan, and or Terry, as we'll call him, as he was then. And Lawler is just fucking getting fed up. They're at like take 54, and they can't get a 3-minute promo out of him to save their goddamn. I'm not exaggerating. I swear to God, it was in the 50s. And I'm sitting there and trying not to laugh as a 16, 17-year-old kid. It's not my position to laugh at these guys trying to do their craft. But I've been watching Jerry Lawler and Jimmy Valiant and Ox Baker and Austin Idol and all of the Bugsy McGraw and all the greats come through here and do these great goddamn promos. Austin Idol. And now I'm watching this guy here can't goddamn do a promo to save fucking life. And I'm sitting, and I've been friends with Jerry for 2 or 3 years at this point. So we'll say I'm 17. He felt comfortable enough with me to do what I'm getting ready to tell you that he asked me to do. And so about take 54, he's over there, and he looks at me, and he looks back at Hogan. He's just got this smirky grin on his face. He says, Kenny, how old are you? I said, well, 17, Jerry. I said, you know how old I am. You ever been in the wrestling business, Kenny? I said, no. But you follow wrestling business, right? Uh-huh. How long you been watching wrestling, Kenny? I said, oh, since I was about 5. When did you become a fan of me, Kenny? I said, oh, about 1972, 73. Do you think you can do a wrestling promo? I said, I do them all the time in high school. I took up promos every day. If I gave you a scenario in 3 minutes to stand up in front of this camera, could you show Terry how to do a wrestling promo? I said, I tried. And now the heat's on, because I've never done one in front of a camera. He says, all right, it's you're me, you're Bill Dundee at the Louisville Gardens. You got 3 minutes to tell the people what you're going to do. Do you need some time to think about it? I said, give me 30 seconds. So I walk off and I'm thinking, all right. So I come back, I do my 3-minute promo, and Lawler is just dying the more I go, because that's all I did in school, is I was Jerry Lawler. And I'd go around cutting promos as Jerry Lawler. So, fuck, he gave me the easiest goddamn job I ever had in my life. So I cut a 3-minute promo, and I hated Dundee. So the easiest thing he could do is say, what are you going to do to Bill Dundee at the Louisville Gardens on Tuesday night? So I do the 3 minutes, give or take. I think it was 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I step away, and he says, holy shit. Terry, do you think, for the love of fucking God, that you can step up and do what that 17-year-old kid just did, who, by the way, doesn't get paid to do this? Could you fucking do that? And Hogan stood up, and he nailed his next promo. And I don't know if Hogan remembers that. I don't even know if Lawler remembers it. But my hand to God, it's the truth. And I think Jerry remembers it, because we talked about it off camera on a show we did here a while back. And I think he acknowledged, yeah, I remember that. He sucks. And then the next thing we know, they got rid of him. They got rid of him and Beefcake both. They said, God damn, these two. But they also got rid of the Dingo Warrior, who was the Ultimate Warrior. And they also got rid of Sting. They were known as the worst tag team in the history of Memphis wrestling. I think they only used them on 2 or 3 shows. They couldn't wait to get rid of them fuckers. And then, of course, the next thing we know, we're watching a fucking Rocky movie. And there's Thunder Lips, fucking Terry, Hulk Hogan on a goddamn worldwide movie. And then the Dingo Warrior, he went on to become. And then he's the Ultimate Warrior. And then there's fucking Sting. I said, well, goddamn, we just got rid of about $4 billion in ticket sales. Goddamn. So even the great Jerry Jarrett can fuck up evaluating talent. And Jimmy tried to run off a shitload, too. He said that Johnny Nitro... Johnny Moondez, or whatever he wrestles now, he said he'd never make a penny in the wrestling business. He said Paul London would never make a penny. He said CM Punk would never make a penny. And he had a long list of people he didn't think, Lance Cade and Johnny Jindrak, he didn't think they'd make a penny. He was almost right on Jindrak. I think Jindrak's down there doing the shit with Moondez too, and aren't they in the same place?
I think Jindrak's
down in Mexico. He's huge down there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
He's Marco Corleone.
That's right. Jimmy and him got into a big Twitter war that I got drug into.
But Jim Cornette get into a Twitter war with somebody? Come on now.
Jindrak was. So
that's like me getting into a Facebook feud. It never happens.
For the sake of radio, I turned on Jindrak, who I used to manage, so I finally had to write.
You turned heel on him, Kenny.
Well, I used to manage him, so he thought I'd defend him. I normally defend my boys, but Lance Cade was dead, and the only reason that I was like them is because I like Cade. I wasn't particularly that strong on Jindrak either. But Jindrak was good to me. He was all right, but I had to fuck with him on Jimmy's show to make Jimmy happy to keep me on the show. And that was the main reason he brought me on that day, was for me and him to bury Jindrak. And Jimmy would have lost his mind if I had to start telling everybody how great Mark Jindrak was. Or Marco Coolio or whatever the fuck it was. But no, the Nas boys, I know was real tight with Hogan, but I don't recall having any interaction with them. I was in WCW with, well, not in there working, but backstage with Jim a lot on those WCW shows. But I always hung with the heels that kind of ran in Jimmy's circle, and I don't ever remember even meeting them, to be honest with you. So how'd you end up getting trained by him?
You know, I moved 1,500 miles away.
It doesn't matter. Doing my rock bullshit.
I moved down to Florida. I was 18 years old, fresh out of high school, and I moved down. And I took a spot. They were trying out. I did 200 or so people trying out for a professional wrestling school. Hogan and Knobs were running it up. They had guys like Kazarni, Sin Bodie down there. Sean Pierce came down there with us.
He worked with me up in OVW. He and I are pretty good friends on Facebook and Twitter.
Quite a guy. One of the most upstanding guys. Yeah. Good to hang out with. You always think something's up with him, but he's sober as hell.
Good to hear.
Yeah. No, but I moved down there.
Tell him I said hi if you hear from him.
I will. I plan on actually. Here's an announcement. I plan on using or Sin Bodie as he is now. I think he still goes by Sin, right?
Yeah.
We'll be using him hopefully here pretty soon in the future.
That's cool.
But no, yeah, we I went down there to Florida. I trained under a lot of those guys, and whenever we were down there, we got trained by Ric Flair came into the studio. A lot of the guys from WWE would come over. Rob Terry was there.
Rick and I got to be pretty friends through Cornette over the years. Ric Flair lost a $1,000 bet to me over U of L, North Carolina in 1986. When they played in the tournament. And Bobby Eaton made him pay up the bet because he wasn't going to pay. So Bobby witnessed the bet, and Bobby got in his face and made him pay. So when Ric Flair, I met him at the airport in Newport, Kentucky, because I was doing a show in Cincinnati that night. And I met him at the airport. He says, and I said, Rick, I said, remember when you bet 1,000 to my 100 that if Louisville played North Carolina in the tournament, that North Carolina was going to wipe the floor with them? I said, that didn't happen. I said, we won by 23. I said, you bet me 1,000 to my 100. I said, Rick, I hate to put the heat on you here at the airport, but my rent's due and you owe me $1,000. You wasn't going to pay me. So Bobby, he said, you really think the Nature Boy Ric Flair is going to pay you $1,000? And Bobby says, I think you are. He says, I saw the bet, and he says, this kid's been counting on that. He's a kid, I'm 24, and or 26 rather. He says, you need to pay him that money, and it ain't like you ain't got it. Flair looks at him, looks back at whoever's with him, might have been J.J. Dillon, whoever it was. And he reaches in his pocket, pulls out this little wallet, and he starts counting out $100 bills. And he's counting them out and just going real slow about it. Gets up to $1,000. He folds them over, takes them over, and he sticks them in my shirt pocket. He says, that, son, was my dinner money for tonight. Enjoy it. I pull it out and I recount it. I said, that, sir, is my rent for the next 4 months. Thank you. And that was my main Ric Flair story that I ever had. But yeah, he knows me pretty good. He'd fuck with me every time he'd see me at the show. I would take friends and get them in line to get an autograph from him, and where they could get a story from him or whatever and get a little personal treatment. He picks me and Kevin Thieneman, a friend of mine that worked with me at Humana. He sees us all the way in the back of a line at the Louisville Gardens, because I'm wanting the fans to get first, and then that way we can stand and talk to him for a little bit when we get up there. He looks in the back, goddamn 2,000 people out there if there's one waiting for autographs. You get away from me. Security, get Kenny Bolin and get him out of here. Fucking with me, trying to get me kicked out. I said, I told you I knew him. And security's going to come over. He says, no, leave him alone. I'm just messing with him. But I looked at Kevin. I said, I told you I knew him. So get him out of here. Flair was trying to have me thrown out of the Louisville Gardens. That was pretty funny. But that was after he had lost the bet to me. So he probably was scared we made another bet he didn't know about. I was going to get him for another $1,000. But no, I'd gamble 100 to make $1,000, and I thought he would honor it, but he tried to weasel out of it. So what do you do? What do you do? So go ahead. I interrupted your story again.
Oh no, I was just saying that, I went down to Florida and I was lucky enough to be 10 out of about 200 so selected to try out who were selected to train, and I moved down there in September of I believe it was 2008 or I think it was 2008, and started training. I trained down there. I was down there for a couple years. Made it all the way to getting seen in front of John Laurinaitis and working with some of the major companies that are out there.
Did John Laurinaitis try to put a skirt on you and make love to you?
No. Vito had already come and gone by that point.
But Jimmy just despises him. I got along with John fine because he interacted quite a bit with us at OVW. God damn, Jimmy hated him.
He was always very good to me. He came over there and he was
Laurinaitis doesn't sit in the goddamn back, flip through fucking magazines and find fucking horse to sign. That's all he fucking does. That's a great job if you can get it. I wish I had that job. The only whore I was ever able to sign to a contract was J. Bird Wells and her two pussies.
He's never going to let me live that down.
You're the one that sent me a picture of your black and white pussy. I don't want to hear anything about it.
Well, I just thought I'd make you
about it, and I'd actually like to see more.
Jeez.
Nothing like waking up to a picture of a big black pussy in my Facebook page.
Wow.
Anyone that knows me knows better than to send me a picture of a goddamn white pussy.
Wow.
Well, there were a few more blockers.
Jiggy's already got people. Hey, listen, I don't know if you know the story. Jiggy's already got people after him. I came to Hutch to protect him today.
Hey, Jiggy, tell him the story about how one of your dearest friends and comrades installed my ceiling fan here in Louisville, Kentucky, and then he just out of the blue while he's up installing my fan, hey, Kenny, do you know a guy named, and whatever name he threw at me, because I knew him as Jiggy Jaguar. James Lowe didn't come to mind. And then I knew that I'd seen and heard the name before. And he's a friend of ceiling fan. He says, you a big deal in the wrestling business around here, wasn't you? I said, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, sort of. And told him who I managed and everything. He says, you know a guy named James Lowe? I said, God damn, I said, that name sounds familiar. I said, but I knew him as Jiggy Jaguar, so James Lowe wasn't really ringing a bell. And I'm going, God. He said, you know what? Let me bring him up on Facebook. I'll show him to you. See if you recognize him.
You saw that silly, goofy son of a bitch.
He brings the goddamn picture up, and I see. Right. I said, what the fuck?
He's got two identities.
Wait a minute, you know him? I said, yeah, he's an old buddy of mine. He's an old buddy of mine. So we're telling the story. So he calls me on the phone while he's here. And he says, guess who I'm... So he sends a picture of me and him standing under my ceiling fan that he just installed. He gets the picture, and Jiggy sees his old buddy standing in my living room, just installed, and Jiggy's dying. He's going, what the fuck? You're in the living room with Kenny Bolin?
That's the best impersonation I've ever heard of this asshole. You'll never... You know what? Watching the camera, you'll never believe you... The camera doesn't do justice to how big Jiggy's head just swelled.
Yes. It was great because I'm like
glad you needed a ceiling fan.
The rap world and the wrestling world got together in Kenny Bolin's house.
He told me he was going to make me a cool ass video to make the bowling club out to be a bunch of hood motherfuckers and that we run things in Louisville, but we haven't got that video. You see me in a rap video, I'm dying to. I might even wear my hat backwards that day, which I've never done in my fucking life.
But what is funny about Capes, who was over there with Kenny?
That's his name.
Yes.
You got to write Capes and tell him to
Capes Palomino is his name.
What's that?
Capes Palomino.
There you go. See, I forgot his name. I haven't looked him up lately. We wrote each other a couple times, but he ain't made my video yet. He gave me a great price too.
I'd
sent that to be in a rap video.
He sent right before him and his cohort, I guess we'd say, his cousin or whatever. Yeah. They thought they were going to have to do some time in the Saline County Jail up there in Salina, Kansas.
That sounds like a pussy jail. So Jaybird would be serving time there. The Saline County Jail.
They thought they were going to do some time. So I
would say there's
call Barb's bail bonds. Barb's bail bonds. Barb's bail bonds. If you need help, call Barb's bail bonds.
I would say that there's no hard criminals in the Saline County Jail, but if Jaybird shows up, there's a few.
Especially if I wear my Catwoman costume.
Oh, shit.
Kenny,
Oh.
you've got to send Kenny a photo of you in your Catwoman costume.
He's on my friends list.
She wore a Catwoman costume here, and we had this guy who John likes to refer to as my illegitimate son.
Oh my God.
He was here, and he kept like spanking Jay. And
Oh my God.
trying to do all.
Cosplay is not consent.
Well,
I should have got drunk before I came over here.
25-pound black pussy anytime.
Well, if you would have gotten drunk before you came here, this would have been, you would have been shooting on all sorts of people. It would have been.
You never know what's in the cup.
You know what's funny, and I'll tell my Mangler story now that we got Kitty on. The Mangler one time was sitting in a place that he nicknamed the Swiss Army apartment. And we were sitting there on Facebook, and there's this guy named Jeeves, who's like 6'8".
He's a big silly piece of shit.
He was talking all sorts of crap on the Mangler, so Mangler's like, we got to go over there. So we go to this guy's house, and Mangler just walks into his house and takes his house over, Kenny.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah?
He started throwing pennies at him. He told him that's all he was worth. He went into the kitchen. He realized the guy had no more, didn't have any food, so he grabbed honey out of the cabinet and sprayed honey all over the...
Mangler, do you live in the Kansas City area as well?
No. Wichita area. This is all mythical stories of the Mangler. Not to be confirmed by...
Pardon me, guys. I've been battling a badass cold and it's starting to catch up with me. I've been on here so long. What time is it? 4:40. I'll give you 13 more minutes, Jiggy. How's that?
Okay, that'll work.
13 more minutes and 23 seconds.
The Mangler the Mangler has caused a lot of drama in the past.
Drama.
I don't do any drama like Jiggy, and no drama here.
No drama.
No drama. But, no. That's why I'm actually in disguise today for the people who are viewing this. All three of them. They can see that the Mangler wore his hat.
House,
huge here in William Hutcher, wherever the hell we are in the Swiss Army upgrade.
Swiss Army upgrade.
Burgess and I hear Burgess is after you, Jiggy.
Yes.
He's out to get you.
This is another deal.
I was waiting in the parking lot, waiting for people to come around the corner and ambush me. But I'm worried, Jiggy, they might be coming.
There is a guy, Kenny, by the name of Burgess. He is...
Meredith. He played the Penguin.
That's Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
That's who I was talking about.
He was also in Rocky.
Your sentence for you.
He was also in Rocky, yes.
Did he unfriend me too?
He was.
Jeez.
He was in the Thunderlips movie.
I think Burgess Meredith blew Hulk Hogan in that movie. Now that I think
That's
about
right. Well, he's hunting. He's gonna hunt me down.
They didn't call him Thunderlips for no reason, you know.
He's planning on hunting me down, Kenny.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
so much heat. Why is everybody wanting to beat you up?
Why is everybody beating you up, unfriending me?
Well, I've always wondered because I don't cause any trouble with anybody.
You just speak the truth to everybody and then say you never spoke it to any of them.
Oh my God.
Bird has got so much Jiggy Jaguar stink on her, they're going to nickname her J Turd Wells.
My God, he unfriended me too.
Who are you talking about?
Burgess.
Burgess who?
She is there this entire show and worried about who's unfriending her for the whole goddamn show.
This is a fucking radio show. Can we cuss on here?
Yeah.
This is a fucking radio show. Get off your fucking phone. What are you doing over there?
It's like
Sending pussy pictures.
You got Kenny on the phone and the Mangler on the couch, and Jesus, she's over here Facebooking.
I'm stalking people, and I'm just finding out who's unfriending me.
It's not stalking if you publicly announce it.
Yeah, and then she sends me pussy pics when I'm trying to do a professional radio show.
Throw her out.
Throw her out.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to unfriend her when this goddamn show's over.
Probably.
I just did. So anyway, Jiggy, tell her your story.
Yes. Kenny, as
am I the fucking host now? Tell your story, Jiggy.
Wait a minute. Facebook just closed her account.
One of them.
One of them.
Pussy pics and just shut her down.
I actually had somebody report that photo a long time ago.
Oh god damn! People are fucking idiots.
People are fucking idiots. Well, apparently this Burgess guy is going to hunt me down, Kenny.
Okay, so he's going to hunt you down, and why is he hunting you down?
Well, because I've been talking all sorts of crap on him. He basically got arrested the other day for domestic battery, and I posted the arrest record online.
Did you really?
Vito got arrested for that.
Good old Burgess got arrested for domestic battery.
Big Vito's got a little history too.
So, and I posted the post from the internet of him being arrested, and
I posted Big Vito's mugshot a couple of days ago, and I retweeted it. And
somebody did send me his mugshot.
I thought about
got
arrested. Don't fucking yell at me. I ain't the one that beats up women. Fuck him.
Exactly. That's where I sit with this whole situation. Is if somebody beat up a fucking woman, fuck them. Well, come sign a waiver. Come sign a waiver with me, and I'll beat you up.
I still know that there's people out there that didn't actually do it. So.
Yeah, that's why innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
But if she's got a black eye, she's got a black eye.
Yeah.
Well, Big Vito got mad at me and threatened to come to Louisville, Kentucky and beat me up. I said, no, he ain't, you big pussy, because I'm a man. You only beat up women, so fuck you. I dare you to come.
My hubby knows better than to lay a hand on me.
See, that's the line I should have used.
You should have. You had the information right in front of you.
He's got all the information.
Oh. So yeah, he's going to hunt me down. And... And
isn't the show open to the public?
So.
Oh yeah, he can come open door policy, whatever he wanted to do, except for Jeffro. We tossed Jeffro.
No more slapping my ass.
Jeffro's not allowed near the.
Or posing under my pot.
Kenny Bolin.
Go ahead, Mr. Bolin. That's just wide open for you there.
That was wide open for you, Kenny. Come on in to tell us what you have to say.
Hey, I don't take layups, man. I shoot threes.
You have more in common with the Mangler every day.
Yeah.
Mangler won't take the easy layup either.
No, you can't take the easy ones. Anybody can do that.
Well, nobody's honest around here in the wrestling business. That's the problem. Nobody be really honest and open about what they think or feel. So sometimes you got to protect the business. And
I think that's why I developed a pretty good fan base. They realize I'm not trying to get a job with anybody. I don't get trying to rip this off. And normally, when it's all said and done, they figure out what I said is true.
Right.
And unless I intentionally intend it to be a lie, like the Podcast One award that. And Big Vito and his wife thought that I was really trying to make the fans think that Podcast One, W-O-N, that number one, I didn't know how to spell Podcast One. Number two, they wanted Russo to sue me for having his picture put on the thing. And I didn't even make it. A guy named Spencer Green made it. And he sent it to me. I said, well, that's great. I'll go ahead and post that. So in order not to be sued by Podcast One for claiming they gave me an award that they don't have, he spelled it Podcast One, W-O-N, which I gave him the idea to do because we was trying to figure out a way not to piss them off. So Big Vito and his wife, or whatever she is, they see this and they contact Vince and tell him that I'm trying to make the fans believe that I really won this award, that I'm telling the fans that I've got 1 billion downloads in 13 years, and that I used his picture and he should sue me and all this shit. And all the subsidiary shows on the Russo brand network got all worked up because I called them subsidiary shows. I've been the number one show on their network since I came there. I slaughter Big Vito in every show that he does, and he does 3. I just do the 1. And then, of course, the review show with them, which now I refuse to do because they had that wife-beating piece of shit on there, and I refuse to work with him. And, the proof's in the pudding. The numbers are posted every week. Anybody can goddamn go look at them. They see what castrating the marks and getting colored gets, and then they see what the Brolin Alley gets. And we get 10 times as many fucking views as they get. So fuck them, And then the other ones are getting like 100 views and 500 views. And hell, 500, they throw a goddamn party. Vito did a live Facebook show, and he got 16 views, and that included me and his ex-girlfriend, because we wanted to see what the stupid fuck did. And 16 views for his Facebook live show. And then I did one the other night, just bullshitting around, and we had 2,500 live views on the show, and it'll end up with somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000. I mean, for fucking Facebook Live, I've been told hardly anybody gets numbers like that on Facebook Live. How many do we have right now? Can anybody track that? How many live views we got? Not to bury the show if it ain't good.
Probably 4.
Pretty close.
Everybody's pushed Jiggy away now. Actually, probably more. More people listen to him because they hate him than they do when they like him. I do too, actually.
Are you supposed to keep your enemies closer than your friends?
Hey, Bird, can you just quit looking to see how many people deleted you and see how many views we've had on Facebook Live?
I can look.
Come on, Pressure is the radio show. We got a time.
I've never seen anybody.
I gained one friend of yours.
What's that?
I gained one friend of yours.
Yeah, well, that'll end.
That is awesome. Starmaker Bolin and the Midwest Mangler in the building.
You dropped the Midwest. How many more years are you going to call me the Midwest Mangler?
I love that name.
I stopped calling myself the Midwest fucking Mangler 10 fucking years ago or some shit.
You're now an international Mangler.
Yeah.
Not only in the Midwest.
Universal Mangler.
Universal Mangler.
Yeah. Now they've got new technologies. I'm going fucking everywhere.
When we and Jimmy doing our version of backyard wrestling, we had the KWA back in the late 70s. And I beat Jimmy for the world title as Kenny Risen, which was my real name back then. And so then he forms the U.S. title, and the U.S. title looks better than my world title. And I'm going, you motherfucker. But he comes up with a rule that you can't have 2 titles. So I put on a mask, and I became the Masked Mauler, and I beat him as the Masked Mauler for the U.S. title. And then he comes up with another fucking belt that I wanted, so I come up with another gimmick that I can't even remember. And he ran from me and ran outside the building and took a count out and said that you can't lose the title on a count out. So I drug him back in the building and pinned him and took that belt too. But the Masked Mauler was one of my gimmicks, and you were the Midwest Mangler. So we would have been a hell of a team.
Hey, you never know. You never have any idea how many times I get confused and people call me the Mauler. We love you, Mauler. We love you. Not the fucking Mauler.
Someone friended me that actually goes by the Masked Mauler. That's what I was in 1977.
They must have been a big fan.
Obviously went around in 77.
That's right.
And as you gimmick stealing son of a bitch, I had that. That was my secondary gimmick.
Yeah. I love trademarking things. So I've got mine taken care of.
Yeah, Kenny Bolin rose over Kenny Risen, and then Kenny Starmaker Bolin. There was Kenny the King Bolin, Kenny the King Risen, and the Masked Mauler.
The Masked Mauler.
Yeah, he didn't make many appearances. Only when somebody had a belt he wanted, the Kenny Risen couldn't have it. That's when he'd go up.
That's awesome. Well, you know, Kenny, Jay.
I do know Kenny, I'm sitting right here.
What are you tattling on me?
Jay. Good Lord. Jay over here has like 17 Facebook accounts.
I thought you said last time it was 66.
Who's got 17 Facebook accounts?
I don't have
Jaybird.
17.
Jaybird, that's what takes so long to fucking get off her phone when she knows she's going on the air.
I gotta check all my accounts.
17 fucking notifications from 25 profiles.
I have my personal account that I'm on every day. I have a verified account, which pisses me off that I can't merge the verified and my personal. They won't do that. And then there's people that made a Bolin account and some shit that I never fucking see. And I hardly check the verified account because everyone knows I'm on my real account. So I think I've only got like 1,800 followers on the verified account. And then my real account, I'm known for this because you can only have 5,000 followers. Well, you can have followers, but you can only have 5,000 friends. So I keep it at $49.99, and then every day I go to the birthdays. And if you haven't written me in 1 year, you get deleted, and I go to the reserve pool and then put somebody else in. And I've been doing that for about 6 years now, and that's how I keep a fresh pool in there to buy shit. Because if you haven't written me, because the only way you can buy anything from me is that you got to write me to do it. Well, if you haven't written me, you haven't bought anything. So fuck you. Goodbye.
That is fantastic. So you have a year to buy something from you.
Got 1 year.
Wow, I think my time is almost up.
Well, that is if I think to check your birthday on that day. I don't necessarily check it every day. But if I think about there's been days I've deleted 15, 16 people. But
Happy birthday, fuck off.
Oh, man.
16 people followed me and never wrote me. Fuck all of you. So I delete them all. I go to the reserve pool, and then I just go down the list, and whoever has the most.
You're using these people's birthdays to exploit the fact that they have bought shit.
That is genius.
And so when people's birthdays get close, they write me on Facebook, "Hey King, my birthday's coming up. Please don't delete me." I said, "Well, write me." Goddamn right me, you don't get deleted. You know how this works, you stupid idiot. You fucking wrote me asking me not to delete you.
Oh my God.
Write me a letter. Hey King, that's all you got to do. Hey King, look there, the guy wrote me. And it stays. Now next year he might get deleted if all he's done is say, "Hey King," and I'll tell you another one to get you deleted. If you dare fucking write me and go, "Sup," that'll get you gone. You can buy $500 worth of shit, but if you ever write me and say "Sup," you're gone.
I'll remember that.
I've got friends that do that to me, and then you carry the endless conversation into fucking
My
uselessness.
mother could write me and say "Sup," and she's out of here.
Hey, listen, I love it when you follow it up with "not much. What about you?" and they say nothing.
Yeah.
Just literally the word nothing.
I go nothing.
That's like the polite conversation of "How are you?" Don't you dare tell them how you really are.
I'd rather somebody call me and say, "Hey, how are you? Good? Okay, goodbye."
You know what my son says? My son says, "Yeah, Dad, don't you think it's just a bit petty of you to demote people because they don't want to bother you?" No, I want them to fucking buy something. Buy a DVD, a hat, a shirt, fuck something.
You know that
Jeeves. You
Jeeves.
ain't got $19. Leave me the fuck alone.
That Jeeves guy used to write me, and whenever he'd write me on Facebook, he would always start it out with "sup" or "soup."
Fuck that. No, I got no.
That's because that's stupid.
What's up?
Sup, King? I used to say nothing. And then just give them, that would be it.
Kellogg's
And then I
nothing.
said, you know
Honey,
what?
Crunch.
The education level of these people must be something I just don't even want to look
I've done it. I say nothing to people too, and then they just come back with another sup. You're just stuck in a sup nothing, fucking conversation for 10 fucking days.
Well, it's like a Trump supporter. They've only got so many goddamn brain cells to work with, and you're only going to get so much. So.
God.
I'm gonna message as many people as I can to say sup, and now I'll see how many have delete me. See if this is a principle that multiple people stand by.
I don't think it is.
I might adopt it.
Most people don't go through their birthday list every day and decide who gets who
I
stays.
think this is going to be a new trending thing.
I have a confession. I did that 2 years ago.
Oh, you didn't.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, with which profile?
First one.
Which profile?
First one.
With
Ain't
which?
got time to do that.
She has no follow-up. She's back to Twitter.
There was one day that I was so bored and that I just didn't have any fucking thing to do that day. And I knew that I was missing a lot of birthdays because I was only checking them like once a week. And I said, a lot of people getting by with this shit. I want you to know, and I swear to God I did this, I went through all 4,999 profiles and on the friends thing. And I had to click it. And if they hadn't wrote me, they all got deleted. I want you to know that day 550 some odd people got deleted. and I only had 300 in reserves to replace them with. So it took me a little while to get back up to 499. I had to write, say, hey, there's room in a friends list now if you want to join. 554 of you just went away today. and then a shitload of them that got deleted were trying to come back. But they forget that for some reason, I almost remember every single person who's ever written me. If you've written me, I know it. I can almost look at the name going, that motherfucker's never written me. And 95% of the time, I'm right. So, yeah, I got so bored one day, I deleted 550 some odd people. Kenny, where'd all your fans go? I don't know and don't care.
They need to buy something.
They didn't buy anything. That's where they went. Motherfuckers.
They need to buy something.
Space. All I know is the 300 people today got an opportunity to buy something. You got 24 hours, motherfucker. Start shopping.
Wow. So it's Christmas with Bolin.
I just blocked something.
Merry Christmas, you cocksuckers.
And I appreciate you making time for us today, Kenny. Thanks for coming on. This has been definitely a blast. We've got to listen to some old wrestling stories. We got to watch you run off old Julio Rivera, whatever his name.
And the Memphis Mauler came in here to join me today. That was great.
I might adopt that if I ever do the Memphis
Mauler. That gets you over right there.
Yes, yes.
You put that on a marquee and somebody buy a ticket to come see it, I promise. The Memphis Mauler.
That's awesome.
Not to be confused with the Manhattan Mangler. Two different guys.
Two different guys. Two different Facebook profiles.
They'll meet. And boy, if the same guy shows up and there's no one else in the ring, we're going to be onto something. Have to come out there with two masks.
Two masks. That's awesome.
Guarantee you, one's a Republican, one's a Democrat. I promise you that.
Oh my God.
They can wrestle over their political views.
Before we end, make sure you tell everybody to go to my International Movie Database page and like it.
What?
I'm on International Movie
Try
Database.
that one more time.
International Movie Database.
All right, there you go.
You ain't got anybody left to like your page. Y'all deleted you during this show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, send some more pussy pics and see where that gets you.
Well, John, you got any more questions for Bolin?
I don't have anybody left either.
Say that again.
I might have Jaybird heat.
Jaybird.
Just for associating with this bitch, I get deleted.
It's kind of like X-Hockey there.
Hey,
Well, that's okay. John watched me in person, but not on Facebook.
Oh, go.
Did you know that, Mangler?
What's that?
I came up with X-Hoc Heat about, God, I guess I was doing a podcast with a guy named Rob Dickin, and I swear to God, I'd never heard anyone else say it before I did. And we were talking about how much heat X-Pac had. I said, son, that ain't real heat. I said, that is exclusively X-Pac heat. That's go-away heat.
Right. For 5 minutes, he has heat with everybody.
But I swear to God, I came up with that, and he got so mad when he either thought or found out or even insinuated that I came up with X-Pac. That was the most insulting thing he'd ever heard in his life. Maybe he'd never heard of me and didn't know me. I said, you lying motherfucker. I said, you work with Cornette. You tried to push from stage when you found out I worked for Humana Hospital. I said, it didn't mean I had drugs on me, you stupid fuck. So, no, that was back when he was 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So X-Pac didn't know from me, but the 1, 2, 3 kid did. Have you heard I worked for Humana Hospital? I worked for Humana Insurance, you ignorant bastard.
X-Pac's always been. I spent some time in the ring with X-Pac too. He's always been real good with me and good to me. But I have heard that he has heat with everybody.
You're easy to get along with.
That was 2009.
Wow. I'm doing better. No, I don't know. If you do better,
I hear he's doing better. He's up at the Performance Center quite a bit now, helping out. And Loki goes up there.
Back when I knew him, he was we have. So that's two different.
Well, maybe that's WWE's way to keep him in one or the other.
Yeah, well, maybe. Right guy, but he didn't know me, that never happened. I just fucked that bitch.
I'm not big on liars, so if you're heat with him, you're heat with him. But I'm not big on liars. I've called a few out in my day. Most recently, the last couple weeks.
And Cornette knew what happened because the boy in the back said, "Man, says, or what was it? Sean Martin, whatever his name was, Sean
Waltman.
Sean Waltman, yeah, he was over with me. You can tell that. But all the boys were telling because Cornette didn't make that show in Louisville that night, but he got us backstage. As a matter of fact, Shawn Michaels got us in that night, and Michaels hated Cornette, and we were shocked he did it. And but he was actually cool that night. And so all the boys were telling Cornette, man, you should have saw the drugs off Bolin. He said, Bolin's never touched a drug in his life. Hey, well, someone told him that Bolin went to Humana and he knew the hospital. So he figured Bolin had a hookup with drugs and pills. So he comes up to him and gave him a hookup. I said, a hookup for what? He said, you work for Humana, don't you? I said, yeah, we need some insurance. I said, I sell to senior citizens. No, man, I need some gimmicks. And I didn't know what he's talking about. What do you need? Ain't 1, 2, 3 kid good enough? What do you want me to come up with?
Using all those different...
No, he's a little prick, and I didn't take kindly to it. But then again, who wants to admit you were trying to buy drugs backstage at a wrestling show? So.
From an insurance salesman.
From an insurance salesman who's never touched a drug in his life.
That is fantastic.
So, yeah, I'm the bad guy. No,
wow.
That was Razor Ramon.
Are you insurance by chance?
No, but I do sell drugs.
Well, I sell catnip, so.
I was inspired by X-Pac that day. I went out and become one of the top 5 drug dealers in dating. You think I'm lying?
Jesus. Bolin's going off.
I got your opiates here.
They are.
I got your extra strength Tylenol.
Yes, I see them.
Extra strength Tylenol. We sniff glue.
You got a little bit of everything there,
I don't
baby.
even know what that is, but it's good.
Jiggy, if you have any stool softeners.
Oh my god.
Yes, do you have any stool softeners?
No, but if you shove that up your ass, it'll pull a turd right out of it.
My codfish.
I got lots of drugs.
Well, Kenny, before we let you go, how do we get a hold of you?
I did have to take a stool softener, but the shit worked too good, and I had to quit taking it. That was about 5 years ago. It was pleasant, though. It was nice not to have to work when you took a shit. I'll tell you that. Right there, like your thoughts and the turd flow, and God, nothing like a turd softener. J. Turd Wells should be their spokesperson.
Only if it pays.
J. Turd Wells.
It's certainly making you some money. Got you banned from Twitter. But hey, J. Turd Wells can put out pussy pics and come up with a new social media site called Twatter.
Twatter. Oh, nice. Maybe if it pays for some Al-Qaedas. Al-Qaedas. It'll help me buy some Al-Qaedas for my farm.
Some Al-Qaedas. Yeah, those Al-Qaedas, man. You just pet them, and they love it.
Is their fur just as soft?
Make you right on your water.
I've got an alpaca rug. Are they kind of the same thing? I would lay on it in front of the fire.
I know 4 people in that studio right now for an alpaca rug. I'm going, did I make that? 4 of them will be bird and 2 pussy. The lottery ticket for. Dead.
Goodness.
Especially at one.
Cheek
I
turd.
got at some bitch at all.
It's not the first time she said that.
If we got one viewer right now, probably about
And now we're
Shit,
both.
people are to be on Twitter.
I'll tell you that. I didn't read some bitch like that.
Well, John says you're a gentleman.
What's that?
I said John says you're a gentleman, so.
John's a goddamn liar.
Oh, this was definitely a good Christmas special.
Yes.
Before what we doing that next week.
We can do another one.
How do we get your stuff, Kenny?
How do we buy your
stuff?
stuff?
The whole goddamn show. Write my fucking inbox. Buy something. I'll make up a price. No, just write my inbox if you're going to look at the price on it this year, $95. I probably screwed you too. The mostly true stories of Kenny Starmaker Bolin. We have the white Bolin Club shirts, so we only have limited ones. We just got a shipment in of the black Bolin Club shirts. We got 50 hats, kind of 3 left here. Sold the first 50 in a record time. Oh, by the way, December was in a 13-year record in merch sales for me. I don't know if it had anything to do with joining Past One and the Russo Brand Network, but I had 4 customers alone who bought a combined $1,800 worth of merchandise.
Jeez.
Wow.
2 guys, Mark Duvard and Bajorn, whose last name I can't think of. They got into a bidding war to see who could buy the most Bolin media merchandise. Before it was all said and done, the 2 of them bought over $600 worth of shit that started out with a $59 set of Beats by Bolin headphones, which built to both of them buying Intunes, which built to both of them buying microphones, which then they start buying shirts. Then one of them bought 3 hoodies. And before you were sitting down,
Why do you need 3 Bolin hoodies? Good lord.
Well, I mean, they
for
really get 4
knockabout.
because there are 7 days in the week.
I think everybody in that studio ought to be buying 3 Bolin hoodies a day and taking care of the ones they love. You'll get them by February if you order them today.
Well, after the first of the year, I'm going to order one, Kenny, so.
Be nice. Be nice. Man, you're a good size guy. What size hoodie you wear?
Between 3 and 4.
3 and 4. I've got a 5. I got one 5X left over here, and I've got one 3X left over from a guy in Germany that didn't pay me. So
That's
fuck
not
that.
cool.
Yeah, after the first of the year, I'm going to be ordering some stuff from you.
Right before his birthday.
Right before his birthday.
No, I'm going to do it well ahead of time so I don't have to worry.
Like a month before.
I'm counting on you because I'll be broke by then. And so then a girl who used to date Vito, who he beat up, or so she says, and she showed me a lot of documented that says so, and police reports and mugshots. But she wanted to make, because Vito joined Collar and Elbow, and this will be my last story today. He joined Collar and Elbow. He found out that I was the #1 merch seller at Collar and Elbow, and that's beating Hurricane Helms, even Luke Gallows, who's a dear friend of mine. Few other big Al Snow, who owns the company, and I outsell him too. And they say it's a landslide. Rod Hicks and, God damn it, I'm blanking out on his first, Dean Whitaker. Those are the two that pretty much run Collar and Elbow, and they both said, Kenny, it's a landslide. There's nobody even close to you. But not only do I have them sell my merchandise, I order it and sell it here in case they want package deals or something signed or whatever. And tell you what, man, it's been a god to me. I mean, it pays my disability check ain't much. And I've been making my living selling BS merchandise or just, y'all know what I've sold over the years.
You got it all.
BS merchandise.
Basically the last 10 years, that's how I've been making my living. And so I was going somewhere with this story. So where was I leading with this?
Here's the Vito joining it.
Oh, so Big Vito joined. He's got the Signature Series shirt coming out. He's told everybody he's going to beat me in merchandise sales. And I'm going, hey, if Hurricane Helms and Luke Lowe's and Al Snow ain't your fucking ass thing to do. So good luck to you. So here's what I found out. Not only did he have to pay $35 to join Collar and Elbow, he tried to get a free shirt out of them. They said, well, no, if we give everybody that's with us a free shirt, we'd be broke. Well, they gave me, when I joined, I didn't have to pay to join. And they gave me 3 free shirts. They really loved Maya. They gave her 5 free shirts because she wanted women's V-necks. And they gave the Prince 3 free shirts. And then when we ordered hoodies, we had a 50 hoodie pre-order. We all free as a thank you business with them. We ordered 50 hats, so they made our hats for us for free. So that wasn't exactly true. If you actually sell something, they will give you a free item or 2, and or 3, 4, or 5. So Vito asked for a free shirt, and they wouldn't give him one. So he's been with them for over a month now, and I said, hey, y'all might not be allowed to tell me or not, but where does Vito stand in sales with Collar and Elbow? He's a dead fucking last. I said, do you mind giving me a number of how many shirts he's sold since he's been with you? Well, technically 1, but also technically none. I said, well, how can that be? Well, he's sold 1 shirt. Somebody did write in and pay for one. Ironically, it comes from the same address as where he lives. So they think his mother-in-law paid for the shirt. That's who he lives with, is his mother-in-law in Pennsylvania. And then they said, but we can't print the shirts till he sells 11 more. We have to have 12 orders before we can print a shirt. So technically, he sold none. And he brags about being on WCW and WWE and ECW and what a big star he was. He sold 1 fucking shirt. I barely left this fucking bench in Louisville, Kentucky, and I've sold over 6,000 headphones, over 6,000 books, countless motherfucking DVDs. Probably 5, 6, 7,000. I haven't done the math on it, but I know at least 6, 7,000 shirts over the years that I've been with them. And this motherfucker, with all this worldwide television exposure, has sold one shirt and came out of his own goddamn house. Fuck you, you big ball-headed, wife-beating motherfucker. I said good day.
Well, there you go, Starmaker Bolin. I appreciate it, Kenny. Merry Christmas, and thanks for doing this, my friend.
Mangler's good people.
Mangler.
Right, thanks for leaving the Midwest part off at least. Shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Nice to meet you, my friend.
Wife-beating bitches, Trump supporters that I don't like.
I don't endorse Trump supporters, or I don't endorse Trump. Excuse me. I don't want to offend everybody else I haven't already. I don't endorse Trump or woman beaters.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, thank you,
Kenny.
Kenny.
I guess I've done all the damage I can do here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kenny, nice to meet you.
Nice.
Pleasure meeting you, my friend. I appreciate you dropping by.
And
now, as far as that other douchebag McAsshole that was here earlier that was such a chicken shit bitch that I asked him where he lived. I was going to face him face to face. He was going to settle up. I live in the United States of America. I said, well, there you go. You'll be easy to find. Then he made up some bogus fucking company that he claims he works for that ain't even real. Everybody trying to Google it couldn't find the goddamn thing. And that's pretty much what chicken shit Trump supporters do. They have the little silhouette on their Twitter feed, or some picture of a goddamn vase of roses, or a picture of Jesus Christ, and they're too big a fucking cowards to stand by what they claim they believe in. Fuck them.
Well, I challenge you to Google me.
I challenge you not to.
What was it that you called me? Some weird...
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was listening when you were talking about me.
I was.
Well, Kenny, have yourself a wonderful holiday. We will definitely have to do this again.
I'm going to test here real quick.
Okay, what's up?
Let's be real quiet and hear everybody that's talking about Jaguar. Ribbit. Frogs and crickets is all I heard.
I love you too, Kenny.
Send me some more pussy, baby.
I can bet.
I figured you could. Oh, Lord.
Well, Merry Christmas, Kenny.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year.
We'll do it again in the late 2018.
Yes.
2018.
Oh, Trump's not going to be in jail. Come on.
Might be.
Don't bet your bottom. One of those Trumps is going to be in jail. I think that little his son is. That little gargoyle fucker. Try to be sitting on the top of a courthouse building somewhere, scare away crows.
Jesus.
Well, speaking of ugly, I gotta go.
Oh.
I'll see you, Kenny.
You guys have a good day.
Thank you, my friend. There goes Kenny Starmaker Bolin. And that about wraps it up here from our friendly confines. Hell of a day. Let's start with Jay Bird Wells. Give us your plugs and what you thought of today, my friend.
Well, you can find me on pretty much any social networking. Just look for JAEBYRD Wells, including International Movie Database. And my website is whattheheck HECC.com. And I had fun.
HCC.com, isn't that the college?
No.
What'd you say?
What the heck? HECC.com.
Not HCC.
No.
I know.
I thought it was a Hutch
get to
thing.
go
I was
around
thinking Hutchinson Community College.
I get go around.
I didn't want people to look for you and go to
No.
the fucking college website. Two entirely different things.
I get to say heck and not go to hell for it.
Okay, John. What'd you think of today's show and the old Starmaker?
I was having a blast.
Anything he
I
says.
am such a mark for Kenny Bolin and stuff.
He's his
'cause
biggest
He
fan.
was wonderful. I just really needed to pee.
he's okay. I'm a fanboy. Sorry.
Okay, Mangler. I'll take the Midwest off him.
Thank you. Thanks for still announcing it at the end. No, I was happy to be here. Happy to be here for the second hour. I wasn't able to make the first, but I drove all the way over here from my hometown of Mount Hope out there. We came out for an important meeting here in Hutch, which is why I was able to stop by. I went and met with an important building on January the 20th. My new company and my old company, the continuing company and the branch of our company is going to perhaps make an appearance in Hutch. January 20th, venue to be announced. You know, it's an actual tactic we're using for promotion that is the truth. So January 20th, stay tuned, Hutch.
No drama.
No drama. We will announce some stuff here very, very soon. But I can tell you this. This next weekend, Friday, December the 29th, MWE will be crowned the best in the Midwest at the Crown Uptown in Wichita, Kansas. And doors will open at 6. The show starts at 7. You can see the Honky Tonk Kid, the Mangler, Mr. Fitness 2, the Samoan Predator, and many, many more. And that is at the Crown Uptown. And you can get your tickets at ticketfly.com, or you can go to mweprowrestling.com. Also like and follow the Mangler and Midwest Entertainment Wrestling.
Look at that. Hell of it. It's like you've done this before.
Couple times. See, why did I have to drive all the way over here when I could have just done that on the phone?
Because of the video camera that's going on YouTube and all those other fun live feed videos.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, all you need is my voice, not my presence. I promise it sells.
Well, I have to do this just once.
What?
I have to spin.
What are you spinning for? Good Lord. Well, for Jay Birdwells, John Mosier, the Mangler, and Starmaker Bolin, I appreciate everybody for listening. Thanks for watching us, and I guess now it is picture time.
Yep.